Thanks for staying with us for 2.5 hours, everyone. Dick began our final hour talking about baseball, picking the Cleveland Indians to go from last to first. And Dick wants to end on a baseball note that many will believe is just as crazy, Dick.
Well, it's more exotic anyway. And the baseball salaries are now up to an average of more than $1 million a player. And it's gotten to the point where even Jericho, the miracle dog, wants a raise. Who is Jericho? He's the dog who carries baseballs and towels to the umpires in a basket in his teeth. He works for the Fort Myers Miracles of the Florida State League. And last year, his rookie year, he got $50 a game. This year, his agent demanded $100 a game, and he's getting it. The president of the Fort Myers Miracles, who's paying this money, is Mike Veck. And they started their season the other night. His father, Bill Veck, would have been proud of him, right?
Well, Bill would have been very proud. Well, Dick, people are going to start talking about us because I saw you last week in Minneapolis. We're closer than 100 miles than we are right now. Then I saw you Wednesday at the Arthur Ashe press conference, and then Friday at Howard University for the Black Athletes Forum. So I think we've been together a little too much.
Well, I don't know. I'd like to get together again on Tuesday if you've got time.
We'll do lunch.
Okay, good.
Towards spending money with you. Whatever I said. Thank you for sharing a portion of your Sunday morning with us. Time for us to get out of here. A pre-race special is coming up next here on ESPN, followed by the first Union 400. I am Robin Roberts. Enjoy the remainder of your Sunday sports day, everyone. Take care.
You can span the globe looking for a more peaceful and serene setting than the brushy mountains of North Carolina, but you'd be hard-pressed to do so. On a typical Sunday morning, you'll find cattle grazing in the field, families traveling to and from church, and the smell of fried chicken pouring from the country kitchens. But 2 times during the year, all that changes, and this is one of those days. People by the thousands have come to Enoch Staley's beautiful North Wilkesboro Speedway, nestled in those brushy mountains to enjoy Winston Cup racing, the first Union 400. Hi, everybody. I'm Bob Jenkins, and welcome to North Wilkesboro as we get set for coverage in about a half hour of the first Union 400. And I'm joined by former NASCAR champion Ned Jarrett. And Ned, we're not here not only to preview today's race, but also to pay tribute to a very special guy. It's Junior Johnson Appreciation Day here at North Wilkesboro. Junior, of course, lives just down the road from here.
And certainly a legend in this area, Bob. He has done so much as a driver in auto racing, as a car owner in auto racing, and certainly as a citizen of this community. He has been elected to no less than 8 Hall of Fames in auto racing, and perhaps will be invited to go in more as time goes by. Just a tremendous individual.
On the racetrack, you can see Junior has gotten atop the 1903 Budweiser beer wagon, pulled by beautiful Clydesdale horses as he takes a trip around this racetrack, and the fans salute him.
Well, this is not the first time that he has followed animals, certainly in this part of the country, Bob. He grew up on a farm near here, and most of the time it was mules, not these fancy horses like the Clydesdales.
Well, of course, we'll be talking more about Junior in this next half hour. And don't forget, of course, the race coming up at 1 o'clock. Now, we've seen everybody this morning except Benny Parsons. We haven't quite located him here in this area yet. Well, is that a 1944, Ned?
Yeah, it looks like it is.
Well, by golly, Benny, is that you? What are you doing, Benny?
Bob, I'll be driving around the Wilkes County countryside to bring you a bit of nostalgia, like this old car I'm driving.
Well, we'll look forward to your reports throughout this area as a near-record crowd on hand here for this Winston Cup race here this afternoon. And we'll have live flag-to-flag coverage beginning at 1 o'clock Eastern Time. This half-hour special pre-race show, part of ESPN's Speed World presentation, is being brought to you by Smooth Busch Beer and Easy Drinkin' Busch Light. And we'll be back with more pre-race activity from North Wilkesboro, North Carolina Speedway, getting set for the first Union 400.
There aren't any fax machines or PCs to help you at this job. And your career path is largely determined by the mood of your horse. So why would anyone choose to work up here in the mountains? Maybe it's the fringe benefits.
My wife sent me to Payless for some shoes. I didn't even know Payless had men's shoes. Well, right away I like the place because there's no salespeople breathing down your neck, and they got all the shoes out. So you don't have to keep saying, you got this in a 10? Have you got this in a 10? For once, I get a pair of shoes I like with no hassle. You ought to call it painless.
Hurry into Payless and find these men's shoes on sale starting at just $12.99. For shoe shopping that's painless, who'd have guessed Payless?
Larry Bird was born to be a champion. He was destined for glory in the game he loved. Unbelievable! Call this toll-free number now and get bird watching at its best in this amazing video, Larry Bird, a basketball legend. It's free with your paid subscription to Sports Illustrated, the best way to capture all the drama of sports. Through rare footage, you'll follow Larry from the basketball courts of Indiana to the hallowed halls of the Boston Garden. Anderson. Be there when the championships are won. Share the glory, live the moments. Be there for the hard-fought and emotional duels with Larry's longtime friend and rival, Magic Johnson. Call now to subscribe or renew. Get your free video and 54 issues of SI, including the swimsuit issue for only $1.29 an issue. Save over 55% off the cover price. For quicker delivery, use your credit card. Don't miss this heartwarming tale of a boy who lived his dreams. It's the story of a legend. The legend lives in Sports Illustrated. Call now.
Car owner, crew chief, and driver. Junior Johnson, a legend in Winston Cup racing. And this is Junior Johnson Appreciation Day at North Wilkesboro Speedway. Here's his record, Ned. Look at this. 18 wins as a car owner and 2 as a driver.
Doesn't matter what area he participated in, he was always a winner here at North Wilkesboro.
Junior Johnson's cars today are starting 10th and 20th on the grid. Well, you know, a few years ago when we came here to North Wilkesboro, we paid our tribute to Junior, calling him the Legend of Ingle Hollow. We think it's appropriate to show you that again.
There was a man around here many years ago, drove real fast but talked real slow. They say he sipped moonshine laced with mountain snow. He was the legend of Ingle Hollow.
Born in a small house down by the creek, a big strapping cuss, not mild nor meek. He had to drive real fast just to make ends meet. He was the legend of Ingle Hollow.
He drove the Iron Horse to a victory or two, beating Curtis, Little Joe, and Fireball too. Those ghosts of yesterday still haunt this old hollow, but the legend lives on, building champions of tomorrow. He's the legend of Ingle Hollow.
He lives a simple life now. A good hound, a good car. With that bright red T-Bird, they all know who you are. It's a challenge he lives for, and all others must face. When you come to North Wilkesboro, you've arrived at Junior's place.
You are looking at the legend of Ingle Hollow, 60-year-old Wilkes County native Junior Johnson on his very special day. And Junior, it indeed a very special day for you here where all the home folks and the folks all across the country come out to pay tribute to you, a tremendous legend, not only as a driver but as a car owner.
Thank you, Jerry. It's a great honor to have, you know, Anheuser-Busch and North Wilkesboro Speedway and all the fans here to, you know, help me celebrate this very special day for me. It's just a treat that you can't imagine how you feel about it.
Now, you got a reputation for being able to handle 600 horsepower, but today you're handling 8 horsepower, but they're pretty sizable horses.
Well, this is foot horsepower, and what we've basically been used to is rubber on the ground horsepower, so it's a little bit different. But I've grown up on a farm and always been around horses and mules and stuff like that, so I understand how they operate and how they function. They're pretty well hard-headed, but if you train them right, they do what they're supposed to do, and that's what these here does.
What's ahead for Junior Johnson? Another Winston Cup championship? You guys got an awfully good start at it.
Well, Jerry, I think we got a good team to go at it with Bill coming aboard for us. It's been a big asset to our race team. It's just going to take a race or two on down the road like here at Wilkesboro and Martinsville to get us tuned into what he likes at that particular place. Right away we picked up what he liked at Daytona and that place. It's because we got to go there and test a lot. So once we find his formality for these places, then I think we're on our way.
I think they're already on their way, guys. And, you know, Bill Elliott told me a little bit ago, he didn't realize how much pressure you're under when you come here to Wilkesboro and drive for this man, the legend. And if you don't win in his car here, he takes it personal. So Bill's going to do the best he can today. Bob?
All right, Jerry. Ned, you raced against Junior Johnson. What kind of a driver was he?
He was a hard charger, no question about it, and I'm happy that my career paralleled his, that we got to race together. He was one of the best, but you knew if he got on the inside of you going into the turn, you best back off because you were on your own out there. He was going on through.
Getting set for the first Union 400 here at North Wilkesboro Speedway. That's coming up at 1 o'clock live here on ESPN as we have flag-to-flag coverage. Stay with us now. Well, looks like Benny, little traveling music here as Benny moves to his next location. We'll hear from him and have more when we come back to North Wilkesboro.
A message to American industry.
I'm Cindy Verser, and I pledge allegiance.
My name is Joe McInnes, and I pledge allegiance.
I pledge allegiance.
And I pledge allegiance to Buy American.
These people are pledging their allegiance to buy American products whenever possible.
Allegiance.
I'm Lori Desmond, and I pledge allegiance.
Let's make it possible.
I pledge allegiance. We pledge allegiance.
Bring our workers back. Let's show the world what Americans can do.
Farm Fresh supports the American worker.
The 1992 Lincoln Mercurys are now on sale at Coliseum Lincoln Mercury, with a car to meet your lifestyle and needs. From the incomparable Lincoln Town Car to the totally redesigned Sable and Grand Marquis to the sporty Capri convertible. With factory financing and rebates up to $750 on all models, come to Coliseum Lincoln Mercury to see the entire 1992 Lincoln Mercury lineup.
And on ESPN, Saturday Night Thunder. ESPN Speed Week rolls in to start off a night of lightning-quick action. Then it's the radical and the ruthless. And the rumble-tumble excitement of live USAC midgets and sprints. Saturday Night Thunder strikes again on ESPN.
A special pre-race show before our Speed World coverage of the first Union 400 here at North Wilkesboro. They haven't announced attendance figures yet, but I'm sure it's going to be a record crowd. I'm Bob Jenkins, and welcome back. You know, Benny has now made his first stop. He's from this area, and he has found not only one of those 1940 Fords that he was driving in, but a whole garage full. Benny?
As I've traveled around for the last 4 years doing Hat of the Week and Buffet Benny, I got to see some unique things in different areas of the racetracks we go to. But in Wilkes County, we have hidden secrets as well. And none more secretive than Clay Call's 39, 40, and 41 Fords. You want to see a collection of beauties? Come on in. These vehicles are gorgeous. This is a 1941 Ford pickup. Here's a 1940 Ford Coupe Standard. See the black grille? That's the standard model. Over next door, the deluxe model. Chrome grille, still the coupe. Another 1940 Ford. But the best Henry Ford could do was not quite good enough. These fellows started making the cars to run faster. They started souping the engines up. Went out on the West Coast, found Offenhauser, Edelbrock, making these flathead engines run faster. And why do these people want fast cars? Because they were doing something illegal. They were hauling moonshine whiskey. They had to have a fast car because they had to outrun the law. Here's what they did. They took the cars, went down in the woods to still, took these 5-gallon cans and loaded them down, loaded this car down, took out this panel, filled the car up with these 5-gallon cans. But I want you to watch these, look at these cans. See the wooden insert that goes over the can? Why the wooden thing? So as the cans banged against each other, they didn't make a sound. A person would hear the car going through the woods They didn't hear the metal clanging against each other. They didn't realize they're all in moonshine. But later on, the containers became quart mason jars. It was easier to sell this way. Instead of selling 5 gallons, you only sold a quart. You had to take care of the customer. You know, I grew up in Wilkes County in the 50s. In the late 50s, on Saturday you go to town, you see these cars going down the road. The back end was all like that. But Saturday night when you saw the cars, mysteriously, they leveled out.
Well, a big difference between those cars and the ones that are on the grid here today, ready to go 400 laps of competition. Now, Ned, I know you never indulged in any of that illegal moonshine making, but do those cars bring back some memories for you?
Oh, they really do, Bob. In fact, the first race car I ever drove at Hickory Speedway was a 1939 Ford Coupe. And of all of the cars that we see today, a good restored car, a 40 Ford Coupe, is still my favorite, even though, you know, got less than 100 horsepower with those flathead engines.
Well, yesterday there was a great modified race held here at North Wilkesboro called the Lowe's 150. Great racing throughout, but the last few laps were especially good. Jerry Punch and Ned called the last few laps.
Spencer in the 71 car. Behind him, the fourth one, the white machine, the Pontiac of Jay Hedgecock with 3 to go.
And remember, Hedgecock has on fresher tires, gets better traction off the turns, but Spencer doing good. Oh, boy, trouble behind him as Jarvis almost got spun around.
Jarvis, the red car to the right of your screen. We'll see if Hedgecock is now. They're slipping. That was the lengthy caution flag a moment ago for oil. 2 laps to go. Paul Spencer hugging the inside groove. Hedgecock jumps back into throttle, coming out of turn 2, up the back straightaway. They will get the white flag this time.
Boy, Spencer really driving deep into the turns, but Hedgecock accelerating better coming off the turn. 1 more lap to go. This will be exciting, Jerry.
Final lap as Jimmy Howell waves the white flag. Hedgecock on the inside. The cars almost touch up the backstretch. A quarter of a mile remains. Can Hedgecock make the move on the outside? He goes high. Now cuts the car hard to the inside out of turn 4. Hedgecock trying to trace him to the start finish line. And Paul Spencer will take the win. And Jimmy Spencer, his older brother, is celebrating down there with that crew. The young man making his first ever visit to the North Wilkesboro Speedway comes home a winner. And boy, that was impressive.
And the top 5 finishers from yesterday in the Lowe's 150. Spencer, of course, was the winner of that race, and finishing second was Jay Hedgecock. Third was Steve Jarvis. Gary Myers finished 4th, and Robert Jeffries was in 5th position. Well, we've heard from every member of the broadcast team except one, and that's John Kernan. He's down on pit road with a preview of today's First Union 400. John?
Well, Bob, a flurry of activity this morning in the garage area. It's about 80 degrees right now. That means the track's going to be slicker than normal. A little bit warmer here than it is usually in the spring. Some of the top teams making changes. Dale Jarrett, who finished second last week at Bristol. Jimmy Makar said they changed just about everything on that race car. Also, Bill Elliott and Junior Johnson's Ford. Tim Brewer says they made about a half a dozen changes. There were some other teams that made some minor changes, so we got to keep an eye on the handling and how the cars do. Now, Davey Allison still hurting from his crash last weekend at Bristol. Jimmy Hensley is here to drive in relief if need be. Dr. Jerry Punch will have more on that later. Chad Little out of Cale Yarborough's Ford. He is replaced for 2 races by Bobby Hillen, who already has a commitment to run a limited schedule for the Martin Bahrain team. One driver to keep an eye on. He's starting second today, Ricky Rudd. He should be a force today. This is one of his favorite tracks, and Bob Gary DeHart says this is also one of Ricky's favorite cars.
All right, John, the crowd awaits the dropping of the green flag in about 13 minutes from right now. And looks like that Benny Parsons is back on the road again, and we'll be hearing from him again in our next segment. Stay with us.
If you can't wait, you need the News Weekly of Motoring, Auto Week. If you can't wait for driving impressions, get Auto Week. Auto Week drives them all and tells you about them first. If you can't wait for car news, get Auto Week. Auto Week covers it all. The great old cars, the auto shows. Auto Week's columnists are controversial and fast. And if you can't wait for racing news, get the News Weekly of Motoring. Auto Week races to bring you the winningest coverage first. If you can't wait, get Auto Week, the News Weekly of Motoring, now. Call 1-800-828-4100 for a full year. 52 issues at the special TV price of $19.95. Just 38 cents an issue. Save $80 off the cover price. You've thought about it. Stop waiting. Do it now. Call 1-800-828-4100 for the News Weekly of Motoring.
here is King Richard Petty's statistics here at North Wilkesboro. 3 pole positions and 15 wins. Looking for number 16 here today. He is down on the grid with Dr. Jerry Punch.
And King Richard Petty making his final start in the First Union 400, the winningest driver in this Speedway's history, 15 career victories. And Richard, it's sort of like coming home, coming back to North Wilkesboro Speedway.
Well, I guess it does. You know, we've had a lot of good success here, not only in the last few years, but in the past we have. So it's been like a homecoming, because you know you have got a good chance to win a race here.
This team has really come on this last few weeks. A tremendous qualifying effort at Bristol last week, and the car running so well, but then you happen to be in the wrong place at the right time.
Well, we just hope it don't happen here. You know, we started up front, and when we get in trouble, we start in the back. Maybe we don't get in quite as much trouble, so we're going to try that for a change.
They're saying that if Richard Petty is going to win one early on this year, it could happen right here today, because this track is your kind of racetrack. Can you do it?
Well, we don't know. I'm ready if I can get the car talked into it. You know, this kind of racetrack, it changes so much, it gets so slick. You know, if we can get the car to handle, then we can run good. If we don't, then we'll be like the rest of them.
Another legend, the king himself, Richard Petty.
All right, Ned, when they introduced him just a few minutes ago, the biggest applause you'll ever hear in this place.
Standing ovation, and he gets that everywhere we go. I'll tell you, he is so popular.
Well, we've located Benny once again. Now, he showed you just a few minutes ago what they did when they transported that moonshine from one location to another. Well, here is how they make it, Benny.
Isn't it absolutely amazing what you can find at the end of some dirt roads out in the woods? This is a still. Today they're making gasohol, but this is exactly the way they made moonshine many, many years ago. Let me show you how it's done. You take your ingredients. Sometimes you use corn, sometimes you use fruit, apples, peaches, grapes, cherries. You put them in the 4x4 cookers. These are called the 4x4 cookers. You put your stuff in there with some yeast, and you cook it. When it gets done, when you determine that it's done, you dip this mash out of there, you take and put it in the still. That's the black barrel. The black tank is the still. The burner is on the right. That's the rusty tank on the right. That's heating water. You put that on top of the mash, it creates a steam. The steam goes over to the little barrel on the left, the little tank on the left. That's the condenser. The steam comes out of the condenser over to the wooden box on top. There's some radiators in there. That cools the gas and turns the gas into a liquid. That liquid that comes out is alcohol. The remainder of the mash left in the still is pumped down here to the hog pen, where the hogs eat it. There is no waste. The hogs eat it all.
Hard to believe that they still have stills in this area of the country, but of course it's all legal. Great crowd on hand, and they are set to see 400 laps of racing, and it's coming up in just a few moments. The First Union 400 live here on ESPN as we continue our Speed World coverage of the 1992 Winston Cup season. And our coverage is being brought to you by Payless Shoe Source. Who'd have guessed? Payless. Well, I hope Benny didn't get into that moonshine that he was talking about. Looks like that, by golly, Benny's coming down the road. Benny, I hope you get here, because the race is
Hold on, Jenkins. I'll be there in a minute.
Okay, we'll see you in just a minute. We'll have live coverage of the First Union 400 coming up here in just a moment from North Wilkesboro, North Carolina.
My wife sent me to Payless for some shoes. I didn't even know Payless had men's shoes. Well, right away I like the place because there's no salespeople breathing down your neck, and they got all the shoes out. So you don't have to keep saying, you got this in a 10, and you got this in a 10. For once, I get a pair of shoes I like with no hassle. You ought to call it painless.
Hurry into Payless and find these men's shoes on sale starting at just $12.99. For shoe shopping that's painless, who'd have guessed? Payless.
I could spend all day here. Wouldn't leave much time to fish.
Don't you have enough lures?
You can never have enough lures. Look at the price on this rod. Well, don't let that one get away. We need headlights.
We need a car stereo. Some people don't realize they have great things here.
Like Shimano spinning combos with quick fire casting and graphite rod.
Do I know where the deals are? Deals, yes. Fish, no.
America's Cup 92 on ESPN. The race is on to determine which boats will duel for the cherished America's Cup. Watch the Challenger and Defender semifinals today live on ESPN.
ESPN, the world's leader in motorsports coverage, presents Speed World. Today, live from North Wilkesboro Speedway in North Carolina, it's the first Union 400 Winston Cup race. Weather is okay right now. Later this afternoon, the weatherman is predicting showers for this area. I'm Bob Jenkins, and welcome back to North Wilkesboro as we get set to bring you race number 7 of the Winston Cup season for 1992. You did not want to be in the top 5 in points last week at Bristol, Tennessee. Nearly everyone in that position had trouble during the race. Second in points, Bill Elliott had several problems, including a crash with Kyle Petty. Harry Gant had an oil pump belt break, sending him behind the wall. Points leader Davey Allison broke an oil line and spun in his own oil, and there were others involved, including Darrell Waltrip, Ken Schrader, and Ernie Irvin. The crash dropped Allison to a 28th place finish. Behind this incident, Morgan Shepherd also spun. He came into the race 5th in points. With all the bad luck, Darrell Waltrip was looking for help from anywhere at all.
Boy, if anybody knows how to turn luck around, please call me. I need it bad.
Dale Earnhardt was having his best race of the year, but cut a tire late in the event, sending his Lumina into the wall. Terry Labonte's good season continued with a 4th place finish. His top 10 streak continued. The new Joe Gibbs team also had its best finish as Dale Jarrett led for a while. But then 26 laps from the finish, Alan Kowicki passed him and went on for his first victory of the season, also winning the Unocal bonus money of $22,800. The quest for the Cup points, well, they really didn't change around too much in the top 5, with the exception of Alan Kowicki, whose win moved him from 7th to 5th in the points. Defending Winston Cup champion Dale Earnhardt is still in 8th in the point standings. Now, Kowicki's win meant that Bill Elliott's win streak was cut short at 4. However, the Ford win streak is continuing. And with more on that, here's Ned and Benny.
Bob, all year we've talked about the Ford-Chevrolet battle, and every Sunday afternoon the Fords have been winning that battle, but the General Motors products might have their best shot here this afternoon at North Wilkesboro. Only one Ford has won on this 5/8 mile track since 1980, and that was Mark Martin in 1990. Benny, how about those Fords?
Those Fords, those 40 Fords are wonderful, although they're a lot of work. Shifting, no power steering, unlike the cars of today. And that car had 85 horsepower. The race cars today, 700 horsepower? But you're talking about General Motors cars, they have a good opportunity. Ricky Rudd hasn't led a lap this year. He's on the outside pole. Ernie Irvin hasn't led a lap this year in the top 5. And Rusty Wallace qualified 5th, trying his desperately to turn his season around.
And Dale Earnhardt needs to turn his season around as well. And look for him to run good. He came in here with high hopes because he won the last race here last fall, and that was his last win. But there's been one General Motors driver who has been more consistent than anyone this year, Terry Labonte. For more on that, let's go to the pits and John Kernan.
Ned, it seems like we haven't heard a lot about Terry Labonte this year. That's because he does his business so quietly. The Iceman, the only driver to finish in the top 10 in all 6 races this year. He is 4th in points. In fact, that's 270 points better than he was at this point last year. Terry says that the team chemistry has really improved. Mark Fryer, Pete Wright came on at the end of last year, and these guys, they are just so happy to be where they are right now. And they think that they're going to win today's race. In fact, they say they expect to. And why not? Terry's won 2 races here, and he also has 10 top 5 finishes. Well, earlier we told you Davey Allison was still hurting. For more on that, let's go to Dr. Jerry Punch.
Well, the diagnosis on Davey Allison was quite simple. He separated a rib from the cartilage here in the front near the sternum or breastbone. He tried to get in the car here on Friday to practice and qualify. He ran 4 laps and the pain was excruciating. He could not get in. Now, what they have done is gone to an orthopedic surgeon locally and get a transcutaneous nerve stimulator. Well, what is that? Basically, it's a battery-operated electrical device attached to his back, trying to keep the pain minimal. He ran 100 laps yesterday. It was uncomfortable, but not too bad, so he may try to run today. But if he can't, The driver who qualified his car 7th is standing by in the pits behind me. That is gentleman Jimmy Hensley, a two-time most popular driver in the Busch Series. Doesn't have a sponsor this year, oddly enough, in the Busch Series, but whenever a Winston Cup team gets in trouble, as Dale Earnhardt did a couple of years ago with Hurricane Hugo, or Davey Allison here today, they call on one Jimmy Hensley to come be the savior. Gentleman Jimmy standing by. And oh, by the way, you think Davey Allison's been with Texaco for quite a while? Jimmy Hensley's full-time regular job is he drives a Texaco oil truck. Gentlemen.
How appropriate, and Jimmy Hensley is standing by just in case Davey Allison can't go the distance. Now let's take a look at the Sears Die Hard starting grid for today's race. On the pole, not a new record, 117.242 from Greenfield, Wisconsin, and the number 7 Hooters Ford is Alan Kulwicki. Starting alongside his best start of the year, Ricky Rudd in the number 5 Chevrolet. He's from Chesapeake, Virginia, Tide Chevrolet. Terry Labonte goes from 3rd starting position. He's from Corpus Christi, Texas, in the number 94 car. And then Ernie Irvin from Modesto, California, in the number 4 Kodak Chevy. Starting in row number 3 on the inside is Rusty Wallace from St. Louis, Missouri, the number 2 Miller Genuine Draft Pontiac. And then Dick Trickle from Wisconsin Rapids, Wisconsin, in the number 8 Snickers Ford. Then it is Davey Allison starting inside of row number 4 in the number 28 Haviland Ford, alongside pole sitter from last year, Brett Bodine from Chemung, New York, in the Quaker State Ford car number 26. Dale Earnhardt, who won here last fall, will begin from 9th starting position in the GM Goodwin Chevrolet car number 3. And then Sterling Marlin in the number 22 Maxwell House Ford, one of Junior Johnson's cars. Jeff Bodine starts inside of row number 6. He's from Chemung, New York, and drives the Motorcraft Ford, car number 15. Then Mark Martin from Batesville, Arkansas, in the number 6 Valvoline Ford. Ted Musgrave, good starting position for him inside of row number 7 of the Jasper Engines car number 55. Outside of that row will be Morgan Shepherd in the Citgo Ford car number 21. Kyle Petty qualified 15th here. He'll start the number 42 Mellow Yellow Pontiac. He's from Randall, North Carolina. And on the outside of that row is Michael Waltrip, who qualified, became the second day qualifier, the fastest. He, of course, in the number 30 Pontiac. And the rest of the starting field as the field moves down the backstretch, getting set for 400 laps of racing.
And Bob, there's some pretty heavy hitters back in the pack. We saw Bill Elliott back there and Darrell Waltrip back there. Derek Cope, who has been running good, and Jimmy Spencer, who had a great run here last year, starting back there in the 11th row.
Dale Jarrett back in, all the way back there in the back rows. And there is the final cars. Wally Dallenbach and Bobby Hillen. And Bobby Hillen is driving for Chad Little in the Trop Arctic Ford this week.
And both of those starters on that last row had to take positions. Here's the in-car camera from Morgan Shepherd's machine, the Citgo Ford, car number 21. This is the Phillips 66 in-car camera, and remember the car today being driven by Bobby Hillen as Chad Little has been relieved of his duties. And the roof cam on Mark Martin's number 6, and also we'll have Ford telemetry working for you so you can see the RPMs on the upper right and the miles per hour and whenever Mark stands on the brake.
And he will start the race in 2nd gear. When they throw the green flag, that car will be in 2nd gear. He will shift to 3rd and then 4th.
I don't think there is a seat available anywhere. All are filled. The fans are ready to see the Winston Cup action. And here we go with the First Union 400. The green flag is out.
Morgan Shepherd's car as he follows Jeff Bodine. There's Mark Martin.
Side-by-side battle here. Rusty Wallace on the inside and Ernie Irvin on the outside. That's for 4th position, and Rusty gets the measure coming off the corner.
Well, that's two of the drivers that Benny Parsons says needs to get their season turned around. They want to get to the front if they possibly can.
The leader is Alan Kulwicki, last week's victor at Bristol. Rudd is running 2nd, then Labonte. Then comes Wallace, Irvin, Trickle, and Allison. And a big battle for position going on back here.
And Bill Elliott up on the outside, but he's making some progress up there. Derek Cope right behind him. Now Michael Waltrip has decided to go up on the outside. He couldn't get anywhere on the inside, so he's tried the outside.
Elliott trying to pick up positions from his 20th starting place.
I talked to Junior Johnson this morning, and John Kern was talking about changing things on the race car. He said they changed everything on that 11 car this morning. They went strictly with past history. Not what the car has done the last couple of days, but past history.
And you can see that Elliott is still working the high line. That's Ted Musgrave beside him as we take a look at the Ford telemetry.
You saw Mark hit the brakes as he goes in the corner. He's accelerating down the front straightaway up to 8,000 RPMs.
116 miles an hour before braking.
Now, Benny, I think we'll see him get just a little bit higher up the backstretch. I always thought they went slower up the backstretch, but we're not seeing that now. We'll see it a little bit later on. But yesterday in practice, he was running about 100 RPMs more up the backstretch than on the downhill front stretch here.
And a crash in turn number 4. Looks like that Dale Jarrett involved and Richard Petty.
Some heavy damage to Richard, the front of his car.
That is unbelievable. Last week, the King's race was cut short when he collided with Sterling Marlin, who had spun, and now the King has severe front-end damage here on only lap number 7, and the STP Pontiac limps toward the pits.
And he's also knocked the oil cooler off the car. All that heavy smoke is off the oil cooler.
He just can't get a break, can he?
I'm telling you, this STP Pontiac runs well when he gets an opportunity to. Here it is again.
Well, it looked like Dale Jarrett was spinning coming off the turn up there. He was on the high side of the racetrack. He spins all the way around down the inside, and Richard just...
And Richard ran in the back of the Darrell Waltrip automobile. Darrell is who Richard Petty, not Dale Jarrett.
It looked like Jimmy Spencer was also in there in the 98 car. So our first caution of the day, and it involves an incident coming out of turn number 4. Among those involved, Richard Petty. We'll be right back.
Winningest battery in NASCAR isn't a special racing battery. It's exactly the same battery you can buy for your car at Sears. Sears Die Hard, the battery that performs 3 times better than industry standards. Die Hard, more power when you need it most. After all, who's gonna back you better than Sears?
In trying to make an artistic statement, one should be careful not to let one's personal aroma do the talking. In order not to offend the critics, I recommend Right Guard Sport Stick. It provides maximum protection and the freshest scents, a sublime palette of odoriferous emanations. After all, a true artiste should be remembered for his inspiration, not his perspiration. Right Guard Sport Stick. Anything less would be uncivilized.
Introducing Ford's newest car. It doesn't have a sticker price. There's no choice of colors. And it has to be driven 4 times the speed limit to be appreciated. The new Ford IndyCar. If you think our technology looks impressive here, just wait till you experience it down the road. Have you driven a Ford lately?
And isn't it true that this auto part did, in fact, come from the defendant's car?
Objection. Prosecution is leading the witness.
Overruled. You may answer the question.
This part most definitely came from that car.
And how can you be sure?
I work for Napa Auto Parts. It's my job to be sure.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Napa people are parts experts, so they can answer any question, whatever the case may be.
An early caution after only 9 laps of the first Union 400 is spin up in turn number 4 involving Richard Petty. Here are the top 5: Kowicki, Rudd, Labonte, Wallace, and Ernie Irvin. Our Speed World coverage is being brought to you by Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately? By NEFA, because there are no unimportant parts. And by Goodyear, #1 in tires. And the Gillette Halfway Challenge is coming up in today's race. A driver leading at the halfway lap will earn $10,000, and you at home have a chance to win a beautiful Chevrolet Lumina Z34. In addition, if you have the correct UPC code from a Gillette product, such as Right Guard or Sensor, you could win an instant prize. To enter, call 1-900-436-7000 before the halfway lap. The call will cost you 95 cents, and you must be 18 years of age. If your entry is selected and you are called at home, you must name the driver who won the Gillette Halfway Challenge in order to win that Chevrolet Lumina Z34. Well, the big question is my voice going to last the day? Because as you probably can determine by now, I have a cold.
Let us talk, Bob. Let Ned and I talk.
Go, guys. See you after the race.
Okay, here's the crash we saw just a moment ago. Dale Jarrett spins, and Richard Petty runs in the back of not only Darrell Waltrip, I mentioned a moment ago, but also Jimmy Spencer. Some heavy damage to the back of that Molly Black go-kart.
And John Kernan is with Jeff Hammond.
Jeff, Darrell was expecting a good run today, but just like last week, some circumstances happened. What did he tell you happened out there?
Well, we sit here, got a pretty good view ourselves. It looked like the 18 car come off before here and, got sideways, and a couple cars got into him. And the road got blocked in a pretty big hurry, and Richard was coming through there, pretty hard too, and he just jumped all over us and hit us in the back end, and he hit somebody else also. So it got pretty hairy there for a second or two. But fortunately, I don't think we got any problem much more than just a left rear quarter panel, caved in a little bit. We got that away from the tires, so I think we'll be okay.
That's Jeff Hammond. Now let's go to the garage area where Jerry Punch is caught up with the King.
Richard Petty just climbing out of the STP Pontiac. And Richard, for the second week in a row, you can't get a break.
It ain't what I do, it's what everybody does. Other people do, and just victim of circumstances. Best people in the world can't get by with that.
What happened up there, Richard?
I don't really know. I was busy working on the #1 car, trying to racing with him, and come off the corner, and I was 17, and the green car something out of it. Anyhow, there's 3 or 4 of them all piled up there, and by the time Dale hollered, I seen it, and I was already up on top of them by then.
We'll let him go so they can go get working on the car here. The front of the STP Pontiac heavily damaged. Looks like the oil tank and part of the oil cooler may have been ruptured. Robbie Loomis and the STP crew now pouring over what's left of the front of this Pontiac Grand Prix as Richard Petty climbs out, wipes his face off. The crew would love to get him back in, but it's certainly a pretty difficult start here at North Wilkesboro. Bob?
Yeah, in quest of his 16th victory here at this racetrack, Richard Petty comes up way short. And the 25 car of Ken Schrader's on pit road.
Yeah, he's been in twice, Bob, and he just went a lap down. They had the hood up on the Kodiak Chevrolet, so Ken Schrader is definitely starting at a deficit here. Don't know what the problem was. They were working on the right front over there as if maybe it was the brakes or something like that, but he goes back out now, but a lap down.
And there's another driver who has had a very disappointing first part of the season. He has had a couple of top 10s. John, what was the problem on that car?
Well, I just talked to Richard Brim. He said the brake line was leaking, so they had to tighten that up. They hope that they have gotten it fixed for now. Right now, Richard is on the radio talking to Kenny, and we should be able to find out in just a second if that did the trick when they tightened it up.
All right, but Schrader definitely starting from a disadvantage. And one more lap to go before we get the green and the resumption of our racing. Well, coming up next, right after our coverage of this Winston Cup race, Defender and Challenger semifinals once again.
You saw that NASCAR official come up and tell Richard Broom to tell Ken Schrader to go to the back of the pack. Schrader, being a lap down, wanted to go all the way up front. But there's been no lapping done on the racetrack yet, so he legally cannot do that. He has to start at the back of the pack.
So he's a lap and a half behind.
Exactly.
Green flag is out. Race is on again.
You understand it. Once again, the leaders have to start lapping cars before you can do a 2 abreast restart.
Ricky is pulled out for a 2 or 3 car length advantage on Ricky Rudd.
In practice here yesterday afternoon, Rudd consistently was one of the best cars in practice. He just, every time he would go out, didn't matter what kind of cars he had on, whether old or new, he still ran fast.
Another guy that is looking to turn his season around, Ricky Rudd, locked in 2nd position at the moment.
Alan Kowicki's been fast too since he unloaded here on Friday. He's been fast since they unloaded at Bristol and maybe even back before Darley. He's been fast for a long time, I'll tell you.
At this time last year, Ricky Rudd was leading the Winston Cup point standings. This year, he is 11th.
He's closed that gap on Kowicki, pulled up right on the back bumper. He goes in the corner, closes up on Kowicki, but Allen's able to get the car turned, and when he stands on the gas, he pulls away from Rudd.
And that's the key on this racetrack, is getting the traction off the turn. Rudd's, both of them really staying very low, and we'll see that for a good while, but then as the race goes on, I think we'll see them drifting up in the turns a little bit, but right now, the low groove is the place they want to run.
About the only place to run, so when cars start catching others, we're going to see some beating and banging, trying to get them out of the way, get them out of that bottom groove so they can go on. There's Earnhardt right behind Davey Allison.
Davey looks like he's doing okay there right now, getting some pressure from Dale Earnhardt, winner of the Holly Farms 400 here last fall, and as we said on our special. That's the last time that Dale Earnhardt has won.
Davey Allison's in 7th place, right where the car started. I talked to the crew this morning. They took a porta power and pushed the seat apart. Not so that Jimmy Hensley could get in the car, but so the sides of the seat wouldn't press against Davey's rib cage so hard. They've got him 4 inches of comfort inside the car, if you want to call it comfort.
Now, Davey did have those ribs x-rayed in Birmingham last Sunday night. They proved negative, so he doesn't have any broken ribs, but a lot of discomfort because of torn cartilage and the muscle pulls.
Bob, before the fan starts calling in and say, Ned Jerry don't know what he's talking about, Earnhardt hasn't won since the fall race here at North Wilkesboro. He did win one of the 125-mile qualifying races at Daytona, but that's not a points race, so it really don't go down in the record books as an official win.
7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th here as Earnhardt is in 8th position, then Sterling Marlin and Brett Bodine.
Well, Brett Bodine runs good on this racetrack. You know, he has his only victory here on this track. Running a Ford this year. He won in a Buick here a couple of years ago.
And a year ago at this race, he led the most laps before being involved in an accident that knocked him out.
Right. And he thought he had a chance at the pole here the other day, but came up a little bit short. But nevertheless, still running good.
There again, we still see the cars right on the bottom of the racetrack. Once the lapping starts and get that groove work to the outside, then maybe we can see some side-by-side racing.
And the fans are on their feet here on the grandstand. They're watching the 11 car of Bill Elliott and the 33 car of Harry Gant race side-by-side, but Gant has taken that position now.
Elliott's car seems to be working pretty good, but you can see Gant pulled him off the turns, getting a little bit better traction, and that's what let Gant do so well here last fall before he lost his brakes, is getting off the turns.
Here's our first field summary. This one sponsored by Napa, as we keep you informed as to who is running where at least every 15 minutes. We'll try to do it every 10, but you can look and see where your favorite driver is running in today's race.
There we see Kyle Petty on the inside of Derek Cope, the Pure Leather Chevrolet, being passed by the mellow yellow Pontiac, and that's Ted Musgrave trying to follow Kyle Petty through.
Kyle was good in practice here yesterday afternoon too, Benny. Car seemed to really be hooked up. Ted Musgrave with a good qualifying run, and he's had some good runs this year. He was runner-up in the Rookie of the Year standings last year.
There you can see that Schrader is a lap down, so is Rick Mast, and Richard Petty still behind the wall trying to get the front end fixed on that car so he can rejoin the race. Here's 3rd and 4th, Labonte and Wallace. Rusty sneaking up on Terry, looking for 3rd place, as Alan Kawicki continues to lead and Ricky Rudd continues to run in 2nd position. And we are 29 laps into the First Union 400 from North Wilkesboro, North Carolina, and we'll have more right after this.
You're about to see how Goodyear is changing all-season driving right before your eyes. Introducing AquaTread, only from Goodyear. AquaTread's advanced design channels water out of your way for dependable all-season traction, especially in the rain when you may need it most. AquaTread, the newest reason why we say the best tires in the world have Goodyear written all over them.
When Darrell Waltrip needs a part, he needs the right part, and he needs it fast.
And when you need parts, see the parts team at Western Auto. We've got top name brands and thousands of parts in stock. Right, guys?
Right, DW.
And we've got the right price, backed by our low price guarantee, right?
Right, DW. And while you're at Western Auto, pick up AC oil filters for just 99 cents each after rebate. AC oil filters, it's like buying time.
Western Auto, the official auto parts and service store of NASCAR. Right, guys?
Right, DW.
Thursday nights, ESPN sets them up and knocks them down.
Knockdown Thursday, ESPN.
Ow! This week, the ladies are ready to roll at the New Orleans Classic. Then at 9 Eastern, the knockdowns keep coming with the hard-hitting action of top-ranked boxing.
Knockdown Thursday, ESPN. Hey!
ESPN Speed World at the First Union 400 at North Wilkesboro, North Carolina, where Alan Kawicki leads this race after 34 laps.
That's the leader back here is 2nd place. That's and Rudd being trying a challenge by Labonte on the inside. Jimmy Means on the inside of the car. Labonte had to back off, but
He had position on him, Ned.
Yes, he did, and Jimmy Means is the first driver to be lapped on the racetrack. So Rudd holds on to second. Terry Labonte still working on him, and Rusty Wallace right there working on Terry Labonte. So you got a Chevrolet, an Oldsmobile in the middle, and then a Pontiac now. The car number 94, Labonte gets alongside Rudd down in turn 1. Can he make it stick coming off the turn? Can he get the traction that he needs? He's pulling away. Yes, he does. Takes over the second position, and Rusty Wallace is going to come with him.
Ricky Rudd, all of a sudden, when he gets on the accelerator, starting to lose the back end. And here comes Trickle.
Dick Trickle was another driver who was looked hooked up here in practice yesterday afternoon. They knew this racetrack was going to get slick. Rudd's car beginning to go away a little bit, it seems like, as Trickle tried to get a nose under it, as both Labonte and the car number 2 of Rusty Wallace began to pull away a little bit. So Rudd struggling a little bit. Everybody thought he would be the driver to be here this afternoon, and certainly still might be, because as John Hearn pointed out, he liked this racetrack, but look at him going high. Trickle gets under him, and that's the break that Trickle needed just to get right under there and take advantage of it going into turn 3.
When drivers talk about being patient, Ricky Rudd is showing patience right now. His car not handling. He's not racing these guys. He's letting them go when they get to him, because if he starts racing with them, pretty soon they're going to crash. So he just letting them go. He'll get his car adjusted and then go on and race.
Then let's go to the pits and Jerry Punch.
Ed, your speculation was indeed exactly correct. Ricky Rudd has radioed in to Gary Dehart and the Tide crew and said the car is getting a little bit loose. So let's not abuse the car right now. Let's just ride comfortably, get a caution flag. We'll make some adjustments on the car, and we'll be okay. But you're right. Everyone expects that car to be there at the end of the day. So why use it up early on here at Wilkesboro?
So Rudd has fallen from second to fifth position in the last 10 laps or so and is struggling with that car now.
Well, we've run 40 laps to this point, Bob, and the tires really, about this point, get heated up, and this is when it tells whether you got the chassis right or not, because they start slipping and sliding. This racetrack's going to be hot this afternoon, and it gets slick as the day goes on.
This is Bobby Hillen driving the Phillips 66 in car. Back in 23rd spot, started 31st or 32nd. Has moved his way up.
Just ahead of him is Darrell Waltrip, Greg Sachs, and Jimmy Spencer.
There's Dale Jarrett directly behind him. Waltrip was in the crash, remember. Also, Jimmy Spencer, both those cars directly in front of the 66 car was in the crash.
As well as one on the outside of it there. Dale Jarrett drives on the outside of Bobby Hill, but can't make the pass.
Waltrip gets on the inside of Spencer going in turn 3.
Spencer's car not hooked up the way it was here last year when he led so much here at North Wilkesboro in this race. Darrell Waltrip, of course, went on to win it.
We saw a few minutes ago in our special pre-race show how Jimmy's brother Paul won the modified race here yesterday.
Yeah, it's interesting that these were the two best cars last spring, and here they are racing for, I guess this is about 21st and 22nd spot.
Well, I tell you, it's a tough way to go to try to pass on the outside here right now, as Dale Jarrett was trying to do there. And here's the leader, Alan Kowicki. And I'll tell you, he's not that far behind this pack of cars that we were just watching, fellas, and they know that. They want to try to get on up through there and try to keep from going a lap down.
Right now he has his sights set on Bobby Hamilton, who is just ahead and will be lapped next.
Alan Kowicki, really, that car hooked up here today. Has himself a good lead over Terry Labonte, who is running second. And there's the third place car, Rusty Wallace. And Dick Trickle staying right with them in fourth place. Ricky Rudd is still in fifth place. He has dropped back from this threesome that you see on the screen right now.
Terry Labonte has had a great early part of the 1992 season. And we asked Terry early in the weekend, what are your goals for the 92 campaign?
Well, you know, we just got to take it 1 week at a time, and you know, we want to win a race. That's the number one goal. And of course, if you can't win, then you settle for a top 5, and if you can't get a top 5, then it's a top 10. You just do the best you can every week. And then towards the end of the year, then you need to look at the points deal. You know, if we're still in the point standings, you know, with 5 or 6 races to go, then you'll start thinking about that. But right now, you know, it's still early in the season. We've had some good runs, but I think that we can improve a little bit and hopefully try to win a race or two.
Labonte currently fourth in the point standings and running second in this race.
Well, I'll tell you, Bob, there's some cars that are beginning to slip and slide quite a bit out there. There we see Terry Labonte in the Sunoco Oldsmobile coming up on the Wally Dallenbach Jr. Ford. putting a lap on him. Of course, Alan Kowicki had already gone by and put a lap on him.
Look at this. In the first 6 races of 1991 and 1992. In 1991, he's 22nd in points, no top 5, 1 top 10. And look at that, a top 5, 6 top 10, and 4th in the Winston Cup Championship.
Hasn't finished outside the top 10 in any race yet.
Very consistent running.
And today has that Sunoco Oldsmobile running perfectly. Well, not perfectly, if it was perfect, he'd be in front of Kowicki.
But he's running good.
He certainly will.
He might be the best in the class right now. If you categorize the Fords and the General Motors car, he is the first General Motors car. And here is Alan Kowicki putting another lap on Rick Mast.
And here's Morgan Shepherd and Sterling Marlin and Kyle Petty battling it out.
And Kyle Petty's car is running well. He is on the move. We saw him back racing with Bill Elliott just a moment ago. He's passed Harry again. He's passed Martin, Michael Walter. Now he's passed Harry again, and also the 22 car of Sterling Marlin. He's on his way to the front. He's already 12th.
We had a feeling that car would run good. Morgan Shepherd runs good, and the Wood brothers sit-go forward. As we look back from the sit-go forward to Kyle Petty. Kyle took a look on the inside, but couldn't do anything with it.
It's out the back bumper of the Morgan Shepherd automobile.
You can see how they're moving around out there, Benny, as they come off of the turn. And he'll take a look on one side, then the other side. And of course, he wants to get on the inside is where he would like to get if Morgan particularly shot him.
And here again, on the inside of Sterling Marlin. One in turn 3, has position. Should be able to make this pass.
Yep, Dan is another one that's coming up towards the front.
Harry moves to 13th, Sterling 14th, and now Kyle has passed Morgan.
Yeah, he got down on the inside. That's what he wanted to do, and made the pass. Morgan will fall in behind him.
Here comes Mark Martin up behind Sterling Marlin. As we look at the roof cam.
Turn 1. You see how low they're still running on the racetrack. We'll look at the RPMs up the backstretch now. See if it gets up to 8,000.
I saw 8,300 for just a moment there.
Running pretty good up through there.
And the speed varying from the high 60s and low 70s up to about 114 or so.
But it only got, what, to 78 or 7,900 on the front straight, which is downhill. But they get a better run off of turn 2 and can drive deeper into turn 3 than they can turn 1, so that's the difference in the RPM.
There's Alan Kowicki. Meanwhile, the number 8 car of Dick Trickle is beginning to make his move.
He has moved into the 2nd place. He has gotten by Rusty Wallace. He has gotten by Terry Labonte. He is now in 2nd place. There comes Trickle. Wow.
Short track specialist from Wisconsin. As is Snickers Ford moving, and he has moved to 2nd position now. Labonte 3rd, and Rusty Wallace 4th. Back with more from North Wilkesboro right after this.
Newport News Cable continues to bring you great entertainment value, and you can find even more great values in your cable bill this month. Take 20% off your next dry cleaning order at any Wellworth Cleaners. Fantastic 3-way savings on automotive services from Sparks Computerized Car Care. Learn to play the keyboard in just 6 weeks, only $34.95 from the Center of Music. Call National Exterminating Service and get a 10% discount on any pest control service. These money-saving coupons are one more way to say thanks for subscribing to Newport News Cable.
There's a new automotive standard emerging in this country with a reputation for quality second to none and a desire to make it even better. Introducing the men and women of Toyota Motor Manufacturing in Georgetown, Kentucky. They just couldn't leave well enough alone.
Fiery Kirby Puckett leads the world champion Twins against the Rangers. It's the season premiere of America's Game of the Week, live at 8 Eastern on ESPN Sunday Night Baseball.
Alan Kowicki, the leader of the First Union 400 after 64 laps.
Greg Sachs in the Kellogg's Cornflakes Chevrolet about to go a lap down. That's Hut Strickland, the Revestis Buick. In front, is that a Buick or Chevrolet? I guess that's a Chevrolet. In front of Sachs, and right in front of that is Bill Elliott in the Budweiser Ford. All these cars in jeopardy of being lapped by Kawicki.
He just passed the 22nd place car, did Alan Kawicki. And now with Elliott running in 20th, he is within sight of the leader.
Well, I tell you, his car is working good down on the inside. Alan Kawicki looking to go right by Hut Strickland.
And Bill Elliott's car not running well. John Kernan's down the pits. What's going on, John?
Well, Vinny, as we said earlier, they were one of the teams that made a bunch of changes this morning in the suspension. Apparently, they went a little bit in the wrong way. You want to set the car up a little bit tight here because this track gets really slippery as the day goes on. Talk to Chevrolet, the crew chief. He says right now they are just way too tight. They're hoping they can hang on, not get lapped, maybe catch a caution and then come in and make an adjustment. But right now, that car is not running, not wanting to turn in the corners like Bill would like it.
In talking to the driver this morning, Ned, down in the garage, we saw that Mark Martin, when he went down to turn 1 a little bit ago, was not running as fast as turn 3. And you're right. These guys are afraid to drive the car too far down in turn 1 because once they get down there, they can't get the turn. The car starts pushing. So they're backing off there down in turn 1.
Well, here's a pack of cars that Dick Trickle has found himself in as he has moved up on the car number 1, Rick Bass. That's Jimmy Spencer in the black gold Chevrolet on the outside. And then there's Ken Schrader in car number 25. Now, here, Bill Elliott has just gone a lap down.
And the fans, some of them cheering and some of them not so happy because, after all, this is Junior Johnson country. And Junior's car is not doing well currently.
Well, the Budweiser Ford, they struggled a little bit here. No doubt about it. Didn't have a good qualifying run and just can't get her hooked up.
Another field summary for you. 19 cars now in the lead lap. Another Napa field summary. Watch for your favorite driver. See where he is running.
We see Davey Allison's moved up to the 5th spot. You know, Jerry Punch talked to Junior Johnson earlier today and talked about animals and what have you. I stopped by Junior's shop on Monday, and then he was out plowing his garden with a mule.
Yeah,
with a mule.
I can believe that.
I wish I'd had a camera there. It was a wonderful shot.
He still loves that mule. There's Darrell Waltrip, the last car in the lead lap in 19th place. Elliott in 20th and has gone a lap down. And in fact, Darrell Waltrip just went a lap down. Alan Kawicki just passed him. So, hold him down.
Third and fourth right here, Labonte and Wallace.
Well, Labonte has been able to hold Wallace off okay. No problem as far as
crash in turn 4. Jimmy Spencer has banged the wall. Bringing out our second caution of the day.
This looks like there should probably be some contact getting in the corner. Oh, Kawicki. Oh, Spencer trying to get down, but cars were coming along, fortunately. Now, he went back on the racetrack because he can't legally pit on this because the caution flag is up. Pit road is closed.
Now, when Alan Kawicki gets back there, it will be open. I think we'll see everybody coming in, and we'll be back to take those pit stops after this.
Ask anyone who's driven a Ford lately. Like the people from Car and Driver, who've named Taurus SHO one of their 10 best. The people from Motor Trend, who named Explorer the best buy in its class. Or any one of the thousands of people who've made Escort the best-selling small car in America. Have you driven a Ford lately? It's more than just a question. It's an answer.
It's one of the most technologically advanced, most rigorously tested fluids on Earth, relentlessly measured for maximum protection against the friction, the wear and tear, the heat and stress of today's engines. It is today's Quaker State. In Europe, in Japan, in America, Quaker State quality has passed the most demanding test automakers can throw at it. At Quaker State, we don't just say we're tough, we're tested tough. The big Q is one tough motor oil.
Most guys kick back on the weekends. Jack, on the other hand, so how do you feel?
Ready to rock and roll.
Only one beer has the taste as genuine as the people who drink it. Budweiser.
Tomorrow,
we're slipping in.
ESPN Speed World today at the First Union 400 at North Wilkesboro, North Carolina. Now, we had a series of pit stops during this caution period, and this is how they came out after all the service was done.
We see Kowicki, the leader, going in. Is the first car to start moving. He comes out. Here comes Trickle. And Labonte wins the race for second spot. Trickle, then Rusty Waz, Davey Allison, Brett Bodine, and Kyle Petty.
Every car that was on the lead lap came in the first time when the pits were open, and now all those that were a lap or more down have come in for service, all of them taking home 4 tires. You see Jimmy Means' car going down pit road, the lone one going out through there.
Alan Kowicki continues to lead this race, looking for his second consecutive victory in Winston Cup competition. He's the subject of our track back this week. Trackbacks are brought to you by Quaker State. The Big Q is one top motor oil.
As busy as the Winston Cup crews remain throughout the year, it seems there's never enough time to get everything done. Here at Alan Kowicki's Hooters Race Shop, the crews spend 12 to 15 hours a day working on the cars, which means they have very little time for themselves. But Alan Kowicki has taken care of that by putting a conditioning area, a full weight room, over the race shop. So just like in college football, where the offense works out in the morning and the defense in the afternoon, here at Kowicki Racing, it's the engine shop here at about 11:30 in the morning, pumping iron. In the afternoon, the fabrication guys come up and work out. Now, Alan has taken it one step further by hiring full-time trainers to come here to the shop 3 days a week to work out the entire crew. And they'll even travel with them to certain events so they can make sure they stay in great shape for those sprints on Sunday afternoon.
Well, that's something, Benny, I think you can probably relate to, all that working out, huh?
That's what I need. I got to get Joe Gibbs and see if I can't go in spring training with him or something. Football training.
I certainly can't make fun of you today, though, with the way I sound, that's for sure. Back with more from North Wilkesboro after this.
It's one of the most technologically advanced, most rigorously tested fluids on Earth, relentlessly measured for maximum protection against the friction, the wear and tear, the heat and stress of today's engines. It is today's Quaker State. In Europe, in Japan, in America, Quaker State quality has passed the most demanding tests automakers can throw at it. At Quaker State, we don't just say we're tough, we're tested tough. The Big Q is one tough motor oil.
Diamond World Championship Rodeo stampedes to the Hampton Coliseum on April 16th through the 19th. Thursday, April 16th is Eagle 97 Bargain Night. Friday is Thompson Ford Military Appreciation Night. Saturday is WCMS Hat Night. Sunday is WVC-TV Family Day. Cowboys, Cowgirls, Wild Brahma Bulls competing for national titles. Diamond World Championship Rodeo, April the 16th through the 19th at the Hampton Coliseum. Don't miss it.
You know, flowers aren't just for women anymore. No sirree. And the House of Flowers in Farm Fresh has a revolutionary way to communicate this little-known fact. The next time your husband does something right, send him a thank you plant. Oh, I can see by your reaction that idea is not going to fly. Well, how about the next time he doesn't do something terribly wrong? House of Flowers in Farm Fresh. One of the many reasons we're Virginia's grocery store.
Bring untamed power to ESPN. A storm of powerful sports in April on ESPN.
As you can tell by the sound, we have gone back to green. 83 laps completed. Kowicki still leads this event, riding with Morgan Shepherd in the Citgo Ford.
And a lot of jockeying going on here. As we look out the windshield of Morgan Shepherd's car right on the back bumper of Jeff Bodine's motor pass forward.
Morgan pulls up, tries for on the outside as Jeff has a thought about it. He is passing Ted Musgrave with Jasper engine car.
Up front, meanwhile, it is Alan Kowicki, who is now pursued closely by Terry Labonte.
Yeah, Labonte is able to stay much closer than he was before they went in and changed tires, so whether they made an adjustment on the Sunoco Oldsmobile there? Don't know, but he's really giving him a hard run.
And look who's in third. It's the number 3.
Dale Earnhardt has taken over that third spot, closely followed by Rusty Wallace. Trickle came out of the pits in third spot, but these two cars able to get by Kowicki.
Now, just after we went green, we saw Dale Earnhardt make his move and move through a lot of traffic to get to where he wanted to be.
We saw some contact with the Trickle automobile. Trickle gets out of shape. Earnhardt dives to the inside and goes by. Here's Rusty Wallace on the outside of Earnhardt down in turn 1.
This is the battle for third position. Rusty challenging Dale for that spot.
Pretty impressive pass moving up on the outside.
It was a very impressive pass.
So Rusty Wallace now up to third, drops Earnhardt to fourth. In fifth is Dick Trickle. Earnhardt's crew, the Richard Childress crew, always getting him in and out the pits. They normally pick up some positions as they did on this pit stop here today. He was running back there in about 8th position. When he came out, he was 4th, then did move up to 3rd, but now has been brought back to the 4th position as Wallace begins to move away just a little bit. Earnhardt was running strong last week at Bristol as we look over the roof cam of Martin Martin.
And we'll take a lap at North Wilkesboro.
That's 17th place. The 6-6 car, the top bar car, is 17th place, so Martin Martin in 18th.
Now looking back out of the rough-hearted car of Bobby Hillin, Phillips 66 in-car camera. Running into that bad Ford, Mark Martin, Valvoline Ford.
Bobby Hamilton, the country time Oldsmobile, on the outside of Hillin.
The inside, isn't it? And Bobby,
I did say outside, didn't
yeah, Bobby Hamilton just a lap down.
And now, Davey Allison moving alongside Dick Trickle in a battle for 5th position, and Davey's running okay.
Davey is running okay, and he's on the outside trying to make a move on the outside, Ned.
Then is that the trend we might see? Normally about halfway through this race, we see him move up into that second groove, but here is 2 passes we've seen here in the last little bit by front-running cars. Up there, of course, Davey hasn't made that pass yet, but he's certainly working on it.
He's still trying, but as you said, he certainly hasn't made it yet. And Trickle does on that inside groove. Looks like it's still a little bit the best because he has a car length on Davey Allison.
We're approaching the 1/4 mark as 93 laps have been completed, with Alan Kowicki leading this race and Terry Labonte second.
This is what happened to Trickle at the beginning of the race. His car didn't run good for about 25-30 laps, and all of a sudden, he starts going to the front. We had a caution flag when Jimmy Spencer spun up in turn 3. He goes in, changes 4 tires, and right now, he's being passed by other cars. Let's see if, after about 30 laps, if he starts going to the front again.
Wouldn't surprise me to see it really hooked up. Might be a little bit tight now, and as he gets the tires heated up, it'll loosen up a little bit. And maybe either other starts slowing down or he picks up speed, one or the other.
That's the Kellogg's Cornflakes Chevrolet. Greg Sachs right in front of Trickle.
Trickle trying to get a nose under going into turn 3. Here's Ricky Rudd, Morgan Shepherd, Ricky Rudd, and Harry Gant all coming up through the pack. Let's go to the pits and Jerry Punch for a comment on Ricky Rudd.
Thank you, Ned. We mentioned earlier that Ricky Rudd had been one of the cars to beat in qualifying and practice here, but early on he had a car that was very, very loose and tough to drive. In that pit stop during the caution flag just moments ago, they jacked about 2 rounds of fight in the right side of the car, and they also bumped the spoiler up. Unfortunately, all the extra work they did on the car cost them some spots on the racetrack, so they're back in traffic. But the crew said, okay, how's it feel now? Rick said, hey, it feels great. It's okay, we're going to go after it. So watch the Rudd to make a move. The traffic clears out a little more. I can see it.
Meanwhile, Davey Allison and Brett Bodine have both passed Dick Trickle.
Also, Kyle Petty goes by on the outside. Trickle got caught on the inside behind Greg Sachs, and all these cars went by him.
Once again, here's how to enter the Gillette Halfway Challenge sweepstakes. Call 1-900-436-7000 before the halfway lap. It'll cost you 95 cents, and you have to be 18. Stay tuned to see which driver wins the $10,000 award. If your entry is selected and you are called at home, you win a Chevrolet Luminous D34 if you can name a driver who won the Gillette Halfway Challenge. And You can win an instant prize if you have the correct UPC code from a Gillette product. John Kernan has a comment on Kyle Petty, who's moving up.
Bob Kyle, who's radioed in and told Felix and Robin Pemberton and the whole crew that, hey, this car is just flat perfect. He had said before the last pit stop that all he had to do was find the right line on the racetrack. As soon as he found that, he took off. He's found the right line once again and starting to make his move. And one other note, Robin Pemberton, the crew chief, came over from Mark Martin's car, a key here at North Wilkesboro. In the last 3 years, the Martin car with Robin Pemberton helping out, top 10 finishes in all the races, so they've got a lot to be happy here.
Well, Kyle Petty is in the top 10 right now. He's currently 7th in that mellow yellow Pontiac.
There we see him down in turn 1, following Brett Bodine through the corner.
We have reached the 1 quarter mark, 100 out of 400 laps completed. There is your leader, Alan Kowicki, who has about a 1.5 second lead on Terry Labonte. Back with more right after this.
Hey, Mike, hand me my channel out pliers.
Tell me, give me that plier over there with the blue handles. What kind of pliers is that? These are channel lock tongue and groove pliers. My dad uses them on his race car, too.
For the tough jobs and the small jobs, reach for Channel Lock, the handiest plier of them all.
Hey, guys, anybody seen the channel lock pliers?
Channel Lock. Be sure you're getting genuine Channel Lock pliers. Look for this trademark.
For age-old problems like these, Goodyear introduces a brand new solution like this. Goodyear Wrangler GSA. Goodyear Wrangler GSA has a unique triple tread zone that gives you breakthrough, all-service, all-season traction. Mile after mile, year after year. So if you own one of these, you need these. Goodyear Wrangler GSA. Then you'll know why we say the best tires in the world have Goodyear written all over them.
You'd think the world would be nothing but a blur at this speed. But at 200 miles an hour, a lot of things become clear. Like what technology can help make our cars perform better, our trucks tougher, and help make them all safer for the street. Because at Ford, we want to stay ahead in more places than just the racetrack. Have you driven a Ford lately?
ESPN's cooking up a Tuesday night special of Surf and Turf. A sizzling serving of hot summer nights and America's favorite pastime. ESPN's Tuesday night special, Surf and Turf.
North Wilkesboro Speedway, buried in the brushy mountains of North Carolina. And the site of the First Union 400 Winston Cup race here this afternoon. Stop number 7 on the 1992 Winston Cup Trail. Look at this great crowd. They have general admission seats in the backstretch, and boy, they went in quick order this morning. And all of these reserve seats here on the main straightaway and out turns 1 and 2, they're gone. It's a near capacity, if not a total capacity crowd.
And here's our leader, Alan Kowicki, still just motoring away. He has motored away from the 94 car of Terry Labonte, who still continues to run second.
Looks like Labonte can run with him for a lap or two, Ned, and after about 4 or 5 laps, Kowicki starts pulling away, and right now, looks like he's beating Labonte by about a 500th of a second a lap.
And Dr. Jerry Punch has a report on Alan Kowicki on pit road. Jerry?
Thank you, Bob. Alan Kowicki has basically taken a page out of the Harry Gant's playbook. What Gant did a year ago is take an old car, about 3 years old, that's how old the Kowicki car is, and make it work week after week after week. Then you don't dismount from a winning horse. So Kowicki had this car at Darlington, remember running second with 9 laps to go when the engine expired. Took the same car to Bristol last week, set on the pole, and won the race. Well, the same car here to Wilkesboro, set on the pole, and he's leading so far. So Harry Gant's got a pretty good philosophy, and it's catching on in a hurry.
Hey, Doc. What do you do for a cold and sore throat and hoarseness?
Well, Benny had the solution, but early on, but he was about 20 miles from the racetrack.
Yeah,
I know what you mean.
Jerry, we need Bob with us up here. You know, someone told me down the garage this morning that that's one thing that's hurt him, Bill Elliott. The car that he won all the races with was the same car. He wrecked that car in Bristol. He's come here to North Wilkesboro with a new car and can't get the handle right. So these guys, when they get a winning combination like Harry Gant last year, Alan Kowicki, they just keep running the same car over and over again.
And I think it's smart. Here is The car number 6 and the car number 4 of Ernie Irvin, they bang together a little bit. You can see Alan Kowicki coming up behind them. They want to get going here so they can keep him going a lap down.
That's why Ernie is in such a hurry, because they want to get going, because he's going to go a lap down if he don't hurry.
Now, Irvin is in 18th, and Mark Martin is in 17th. And Kowicki is trying to put a lap on Irvin right now.
Kowicki's on the inside of Ernie. He's got that preferred position.
That's where Kowicki's car seems to work best, is down on the inside. Now watch him when he comes off of that turn. He slipped a little bit that time, but he's up beside him going into turn 3. Should be able to get him now coming off of turn 4.
Here's a good battle for position. Brett Bodine, Davey Allison, Kyle Petty.
That is 5th, 6th, and 7th. Brett Bodine is in the 6th position now, as he has moved around Davey Allison. Now Kyle Petty wants to move up there and move around. And right behind them is Dick Trickle. Trickle's car, as you mentioned, Benny, beginning to come back a little bit.
Yeah, it's been a few laps since the caution flag, since they changed tires. Now his car is starting to be as good as anyone.
Oh, it looked like Kyle got a little low there in the 4th turn, and King Richard Petty has rejoined the race. He was involved in a very early incident here on the main straightaway with other cars, and just like last week at Bristol, he's got the whole doghouse nose off that car, but yet Richard is back out there in competition.
No problem getting air to the radiator ends and all.
Air to anything, you're right. Here's Kowicki trying to put a lap on Mark Martin. He's on the inside and drives in and puts Martin a lap down.
Now 16 cars on the lead lap. Mark was in 17th.
Well, I'll tell you, Kowicki has been awesome. He really has been strong. Awesome, whatever. If you put the adjectives there, he has been hit.
I saw an ad in the newspaper a couple of weeks ago that said they don't call him Awesome Bill because he rhymes. Well, I think we can say that for Kowicki. Awesome, very awesome.
Ford telemetry getting the break now as the RPMs drop to 4,700 and then begin to climb as he steps on the accelerator going down the backstretch.
113 mile an hour top speed. 70 miles an hour down in turn. Ooh, there's Kyle Petty trying to get on the inside of Davis. This is a race for 6th spot. Brett Bodine, we saw him a moment ago. He's up in 5th.
And was pulled away from Davey once he got by.
And there's Dick Trickle sticking his nose into that battle for position.
Also, Jeff Bodine, that red car right behind him, is in the same lap with these cars.
Now Kyle's going to try it on the outside. No, you just faked him out there and pulled back on the inside. That didn't work either. Davey's been through this little ritual before.
Was it last spring that he and Brett Bodine went turn 3, something like that?
Didn't make it.
And didn't make it, yeah.
I think Kyle's car right now is a little faster than Davey's, but it's tough to pass on this racetrack when you have cars that are almost equal.
I believe you're right. I think if Kyle could get in front of this Davey, he'd be able to drive on. But
there he gets a nose under him coming off of turn 2. Let's see if he can make it stick. Nope, he just couldn't get the traction he needed.
Not quite.
And coming right up on them, you mentioned Jeff Bodine. He has caught him now, Benny, and right behind them you see Morgan Shepherd coming into the picture and Ricky Rudd right behind him. All of that is for position. This is 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th position.
6 cars running nose to tail on the racetrack. We will keep an eye on this battle as we take another break with 125 laps completed in the First Union 400 at North Wilkesboro. We'll be right back.
When you're looking to quench a serious thirst, there's nothing like the tangy citrus taste of Squirt. Give your thirst a Squirt. Regular or diet.
Ask anyone who's driven a Ford lately. Like the people from Car and Driver, who've named Taurus SHO one of their 10 best. The people from Motor Trend, who named Explorer the best buy in its class. or any one of the thousands of people who've made Escort the best-selling small car in America. Have you driven a Ford lately? It's more than just a question. It's an answer.
When Darrell Waltrip needs a part, he needs the right part, and he needs it fast.
And when you need parts, see the parts team at Western Auto. We've got top name brands and thousands of parts in stock. Right, guys?
Right, DW.
And we've got the right price, backed by our low price guarantee, right?
Right, DW. And while you're at Western Auto, pick up AC oil filters for just 99 cents each after rebate. AC oil filters, it's like buying time.
Western Auto, the official auto parts and service store of NASCAR. Right, guys?
Right, DW.
Well, you'll notice by the reduced speed that we are under our third caution of the day on lap number 130. And this is what happened in turn number 2 as Petty and Allison were battling for a position.
Once again, Kyle Petty trying to get position on Davey Allison. They touch. Around goes Davey, and Dick Trickle gets hit behind by Jeff Bodine. He spins. Not a lot of damage to the car, but it did bring out the caution play.
Jerry Punch is in Alan Kulwicki's pit.
And the speed on pit road, Bob, 30 miles per hour today, so very deliberately Allen brings the Hooters forward down pit road. Now they all follow suit. Terry Labonte comes down, Dale Earnhardt. Here's Brett Bodine. Most of the cars on the lead lap now pitting behind Alan Kulwicki. There's Rusty Wallace in the Pontiac. Changing right side tires, now around on the left side. Expect a 4-tire change on all these cars. 7 on top of your screen. Kulwicki's Ford on the bottom of the Oldsmobile of Terry Labonte. Left side tires already on. Kulwicki's Ford. Labonte getting left side tires. Kulwicki is down and away, and now the jack down and away for Terry Labonte. So it'll be Kulwicki, Labonte, and the race back to turn 1, possibly Rusty Wallace.
What about Dale Earnhardt? Looks like he got out in second place right behind Kulwicki. Once again, Richard Childress, that crew, Kurt Shermerdine, David Smith, all those guys on a super job.
He's pitted in the very last pit, way into turn number 1, but it is a tribute to that crew getting him out so quickly. He'll be in second position, and Kulwicki will still have the lead when we go back to racing in just a moment. Stay with us.
It's one of the most technologically advanced, most rigorously tested fluids on Earth, relentlessly measured for maximum protection against the friction, the wear and tear, the heat and stress of today's engines. It is today's Quaker State. In Europe, in Japan, in America, Quaker State quality has passed the most demanding tests automakers can throw at it. At Quaker State, we don't just say we're tough, we're tested tough. The Big Q is one tough motor oil.
Where to find the Mountain Man. A mountain man can often be found on the trail of adventure, in search of remote watering holes, or weathering harsh climates. Most often, however, you'll find the Mountain Man wherever you find smooth bush beer or easy drinking bush light. So, head for the mountains and find yourself in the wide, open world of the Mountain Man.
All of these championship-winning drivers have one thing in common: Goodyear Racing Eagles. The race-winning technology that's found in the Goodyear Racing Eagles can also be found in the world's best-selling line of high-performance street tires, Goodyear Eagle Street Radials. The champions know, and it's why we say the best tires in the world have Goodyear written all over them.
Welcome to North Wilkesboro Speedway in North Carolina as we present live flag-to-flag coverage of the First Union 400 Winston Cup race, currently under caution with 133 laps completed. Our Speed World coverage is being brought to you by Quaker State. The Big Q is one tough motor oil. And by Smooth Bush Beer and Easy Drinkin' Bush Light. Still under caution because of a crash out in turn number 2, and here it is from another angle.
Kyle Petty trying to get by Davey Allison and make some contact. Around goes Davey. Kyle continues on. We see Dick Trickle just getting touched in the back. Around he goes. He lost a lap. Was unable to get his car going. Lost a lap as the green flag waves.
Ernie Irvin trying to get his lap back. We saw him get lapped on the racetrack, and a lot of smoke there from one guy. Jimmy Means, I think, has something wrong, either engine or something up ahead of them.
And here's Earnhardt trying to follow the 4-car by, trying to get the lead.
And fellas, there's some rain in the area for rain clouds, and Earnhardt takes the lead.
Yeah, the concern right now has to be rain because there is even lightning visible from those sitting in the grandstands here at North Wilkesboro. So it could be that we're going to the halfway point here. Dale Earnhardt, sensing that, has taken his GM Goodyear Chevrolet to the lead.
Plus the fact that there had been so much said about him not leading a lap until last week at Bristol, and of course he has now had 5 bonus points for leading a lap, and he's tired of hearing people say something about him not leading races. Of course, it's all to go to the front.
That was him spoke about Jamie Means car, not as bad as it was just a moment ago.
Ernie Irvin has spurted way out in front of Earnhardt, so if the caution should come out, he's going to be in good shape and get back in the lead lap.
And Jerry Punch has another report on pit road. Jerry?
Terry Labonte just radioed the crew that he has never had a car here be so consistently good. Now, he's biding his time in traffic right now, but he has said the car is just outstanding. In fact, he told his crew chief, Pete Wright, you get on the phone right now when you get a chance, call Mike Laughlin and order another one just like it.
Those guys have done a super job. This is Pete Wright, all those guys down at the Sunoco team, the Billy Hagan team.
They really have. Of course, Mike Laughlin, one of the famous car builders in auto racing. And here's Kowicki trying to pass Earnhardt back.
Kowicki gets a great jump off the corner, and now he's on the inside, has position on Earnhardt.
Let's see what happens as they go into one. I sure hope they don't spin, or I'm going to have to yell, and I can't do it. No, they didn't.
We'll yell for you. Kowicki makes a nice smooth pass.
Well, maybe. Here's Earnhardt coming back up on the outside. I don't think he made the stick.
What's Earnhardt trying to do is get on the inside so Labonte and Rusty Wallace and all of the cars wouldn't go by. He was trying to get back to the inside, but couldn't make it before Labonte stuck his nose in there. See, he wants to get back to the inside so Rusty can't make the pass.
Well, we saw Rusty pass Earnhardt on the outside a little while ago, but he's going to try to do it on the inside this time.
Good stuff here.
They bang together a little bit coming off the turn. The fans are absolutely loving it.
And Bobby Hillin has a great shot. I mean, as we look from inside his Phillips 66 car.
Bobby had just gone a lap down right before the caution came out.
Wallace.
Ooh, some contact between those two cars. Earnhardt done a great job. Oh, and he almost gets hit by the 60. I'll do the other for you, Bobby.
Oh, man.
Well, let's see. Another little love tap coming up. Yep. There he goes. Here comes Earnhardt back on the inside. Turnabout's fair play, I guess he said. There he goes. Moves high. Here comes Bobby Hillin down on the inside. Rusty out of position up there, and he wants to get back down on the inside, but Hillin's there, and he can't get back down there.
Boy, you are right, Ned. The fans are just going absolutely crazy here on the main straightaway, watching this great side-by-side action.
Meanwhile, Alan Kowicki and Terry Labonte pull away. Here they go again. Boy, the fans are just cheering as they're loving. You can see them there. They're loving every minute of it. Well, here comes Earnhardt again. He's not through.
I think these guys are saying, okay, we've had enough. Let's race.
Somebody's going to get hurt in terms of hurting their car to the point they're going to be uncompetitive, so they'll cool it for a while.
Yeah, I think Rusty has the upper hand now. He's out there. He can set himself a groove, get himself in a pattern. He should be able to pull away from Earnhardt.
You know, the thing that really hurt those two guys is they were battling for position. Both Kowicki and Labonte just moved right ahead. They're almost a full straightaway now ahead of this third and fourth place car.
Yeah, they probably lost 4 or 5 seconds while they were trying to pass each other. Rusty passed Dale, Earnhardt passed him back. This is inside Bobby Hillin's Phillips 66 car. Once again, Chad Little drove the car the first 6 races this year. Last week, he was released, and Bobby Hillin is only going to drive this car 2 races, and then he will go back to his regular 53 car.
It will be interesting to see who drives that car starting in Talladega, because Bobby will be in it at the next race in 2 weeks at Martinsville, and then the scene is pretty much up for grabs. The roof cam on Mark Martin's machine, and Mark currently running in 18th position.
1 lap down.
Once again, we see the telemetry system. That's Harry Gant directly in front of Mark Martin. Stole Bandit. accelerating rapidly up. You can see just how fast that tachometer goes and how slow he gets, how fast it slows down.
They have to get on the brakes a little bit going into the turns. Not as much. I almost tipped the wall there. They don't get on the brakes as much here as they will at Martinsville in a couple of weeks. But they still have to use the brakes here.
And just ahead of Harry Gant, the number 21 of Morgan Shepherd, the 42 of Kyle Petty are battling for position. That's for 6th position.
And they were in that big pack of cars that caused the last caution.
And so with 151 laps completed, it is still Alan Kowicki leading the first Union 400 with Labonte second, followed by Wallace, Earnhardt, and Pagan.
Hungry for an original, fresh quality, delicious steak? The Great Steak has the answer for you. Come in and try any of our award-winning steaks that you cook to your satisfaction in the Great Steak family atmosphere. For those with discriminating taste, we serve our original slow-roasted Midwestern prime rib prepared to perfection. Quality steak, quality prime rib, and our quality 40-item salad bar, all at one low price at the Great Steak. See you at the broiler.
There's a lot of excitement at Pocosin Motors, one of the nation's largest Chrysler Plymouth dealers. We have the entire lineup of new 92 Chryslers and Plymouths, like the Plymouth Acclaim, the lowest price 6-passenger midsize car in America. And it comes with a choice of no deductible warranties, a 1-year 12,000-mile warranty, or a 3-year 36,000-mile warranty. Priced as low as $10,000 to $652. The Acclaim, built in America, by Americans, and for Americans. See it today at Pocosin Motors, a proud member of the Promoco Group.
ESPN sets them up and knocks them down.
Knockdown! Knockdown! Knockdown Thursday, ESPN!
Ow! This week, the ladies are ready to roll at the New Orleans Classic. Then at 9 Eastern, the knockdowns keep coming with the hard-hitting action of top-ranked boxing.
Knockdown Thursday, ESPN! Hey!
Bob Jenkins, Ned Jarrett, Benny Parsons, John Kernan, and Dr. Jerry Punch back in North Wilkesboro, North Carolina, and the first Union 400 led by Alan Kowicki. Well, coming up next, right after our coverage, we go to San Diego, California for more coverage of the America's Cup, Defender and Challenger semifinals. That's right after our Winston Cup race this afternoon on ESPN.
Must be amazing to watch. I'm always traveling when the races are right. I don't get to see the America's Cup, but it must be amazing to go from 100 miles an hour to however fast those boats run.
Yeah, and you know, there's just as much technology, if not more, and more strategy involved in those America's Cup races as there is in Winston Cup competition.
But those pit crews on the boats work too hard. I mean, they're working nonstop. These guys only work 20 seconds at a time, so.
Here comes another field summary for you, sponsored by Fram. Watch for your favorite driver. This is the standings as of about a lap ago.
Red Bodine up in the fifth box. They quite stayed forward.
Davey Allison dropped back to 10th after that spin over there, but he still is in the lead lap.
Harry Gantz moved up from base spot. I think he qualified about 16th. Sterling Marlin 14th, and Ernie Irvin back in the lead lap 15th. All these cars are lap down. There's the 94 cars. Terry Labonte. He's currently running second, and
been right there all day.
Sure is.
Dallenbach, Hamilton, Schrader, Mast, and Spencer. With Schrader, Mast, and Spencer 3 laps down the field. And then Jimmy Means is 5 laps down, and Richard Petty back on the racetrack 100 laps down after a crash. There's the third place car of Rusty Wallace, and there's the second place car of Terry Labonte.
You see Rusty Wallace, and directly behind him is Dick Trickle. He's gotten by Dale Earnhardt.
But he's a lap down.
That's right. He is a lap down. Earnhardt is the next car in position.
Earnhardt moved to the inside just a lap or two ago and let Trickle go by on the outside. Trickle has a long way to go to catch Alan Kowicki before he could get back in the lead lap.
It's too bad because there were a lot of people thinking that Trickle had one of his best chances of winning here this afternoon because he is, of course, loving this kind of racetrack. But been a lap down.
Brett Bodine on the lead lap. He's following the Field 66 car, Bobby Hillin, that we're looking out of his car now, but Dale Earnhardt.
There we look back on Brett from the bumper cam.
That's Brett Bodine, who is currently in the 5th position. Brett sort of on the spot on the racetrack there by himself.
We're getting closer to the halfway point. To enter the Gillette Halfway Challenge sweepstakes, call 1-900-436-7000 before the halfway lap. The call costs you 95 cents. You must be 18 years of age or older to enter. You are called back during the race, and you can name the driver who had won the Gillette Halfway Challenge. You'll win a new Chevrolet Lumina Z34. And you can also win an instant prize for having the correct UPC code from a Gillette product. The Gillette Halfway Challenge coming up in 33 left, right?
Oh, you're good, Bob.
Thank you, boy. Now, another thing, again, we have to think about is rain, because we have seen some lightning very close to this racetrack. John? Jerry, what's the situation down there?
Thank you, Bob. We are seeing some thunder showers, some lightning off of turn 3 and 4. Now, I'm inside the NASCAR trailer here in their weather radar. Let me show you what we're looking at here. Behind me, this is Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina. And right here is North Wilkesboro Speedway. This large green area here is a thunder shower front with the yellow, which is intense thunder showers in the middle. That is between North Wilkesboro Speedway and Hickory, North Carolina. It is moving northeast this way. We may get a fringe of that. We may get missed by that, but look behind it, about 50 miles away over toward Asheville, a larger front with some significant thunder showers, and it also moving northeast. We may get lucky. We may get some rain sometime in the next half hour.
We're going to give Punch one of those American Meteorologists Association seal of approval or whatever. Pretty good, Jerry.
Now, we've only got 30 laps to go to the halfway point, and of course, if we do get rain that lasts for any length of time after that point, then the race will be declared official. So right now, the competitors are going for that halfway point, not only $10,000 in the Gillette Halfway Challenge, but also a possible victory in the race.
Kyle Petty's car is starting to slip a little bit because Jeff Bodine passed him just a moment ago, and now here Morgan Shepherd goes by on the outside, or trying to go by on the outside.
And now let's go down to John Kernan with a report on the 21 car of Shepherd.
They thought they would have a pretty good run this weekend, Bob. Talked with Eddie Wood yesterday. He says it's unbelievable how well he and Morgan Shepherd and the whole crew get along together. They had heard rumors that Morgan was hard to work with. He said that has not been the case. He said Morgan has been willing to come in, take a try on their chassis setup, and then fine-tune it, which is really what the Wood brothers were looking for, because they needed some help out on their chassis. They said that Morgan has worked out as well as they can hope, and right now that is very evident. He's running in the top 10, and the Wood Brothers team is also in their best points position at this point in the season for several years.
Morgan Shepherd is 6th in the points. He was 5th until last weekend when Milwaukee knocked him out of that spot with the victory. Now this is the battle for 7th position between Kyle and Morgan.
Morgan's not afraid to drive on the outside. A lot of these fellows are real timid to go out there, but Morgan went outside and made the pass.
Kyle gave him the running room, went in that turn a little bit hard, went high, but maybe that was a planned move.
Well, that's exactly what those fellows are talking about, Ned. When they get in there too hard, they just can't get the car to turn. And Morgan Shepherd, a prime example.
When I say it's a planned move, now we have seen them sort of be that corner down there, run up high and then Teddy square back to the left, but I don't think they're quite ready for that yet. I don't think the groove is working that way.
Meanwhile, Ernie Irvin is still sitting in front.
But he's been caught now by Alan Kowicki. He moved out about 2 seconds ahead, but now Kowicki is running down, trying to put him a lap down.
Alan Kowicki is the leader of the race, looking for his 2nd consecutive win in Winston Cup competition. 176 laps completed.
It is from Kodak. It delivers the highest resolution. Microfine grain. Superior image structure. For ultra-sharp detail. It is called Ektar. Ektar film by Kodak. The genius is in the details. Ektar film now comes in a new cottonless package in 25, 100, and 1,000 speeds.
I'm not going to buy just any tire.
Before you buy new tires, test these first. Bridgestone Road Handlers from Sears. Drive them anywhere for 1,000 miles. If you're not convinced Bridgestone road handlers are the best tires you've ever driven, Sears will replace them free.
When they say it's guaranteed, it's guaranteed.
Now at reduced prices. Bridgestone road handler, backed by Sears lifetime free replacement.
Who's going to back you better than Sears?
At GMC Truck, our only business is trucks, and has been for over 80 years. A dedication to truck strengths and values to keep in mind. Because when you need to haul something, tow something, carry precious cargo, find new trails, or simply ride high and proud, there's nothing quite as strong as a truck. GMC Truck, the strength of experience.
Why do sports fans turn to ESPN first? Because baseball is always...
in your face. In your face.
in your face.
ESPN, ESPN, your face.
Welcome back to North Wilkesboro, where Alan Kowicki has the Hooters Ford out in front of the First Union 400.
18 laps, 17 and a half laps to go to halfway, and these fellows know the rain is coming. They've been told.
Here's second and third, Labonte and Rusty Wallace.
Now, Wallace has caught Labonte. He was a couple of seconds behind, but now he has run him down. And right behind Rusty, as they pass that car, you see Dick Trickle coming in there? Fella, he's about to start on the racetrack. I said a while ago he had a long way to go to catch Alan Kowicki. He's mowing him down. He is definitely gaining on him.
There's Trickle moving to the inside of Bobby Hamilton in the country time car.
Rusty Wallace looks like he's got his car running as well as he has this year, Ned. Seems to get a grip off the corner.
While we watch this battle for second position, it is our great pleasure to announce that
Span up in turn 3, Brett Bodine and Wally Dollenbach Jr. get together up there going into the turn.
Dollenbach hit the wall pretty hard at the rear end of the car, got sideways and slid up the banking into the wall, and his car sits against the outside barrier between turns 3 and 4, and that'll bring out caution number 4.
And Ernie Irvin racing back to the start-finish line, trying to stay ahead of Alan Kowicki, and he does.
And so did Bill Elliott. A big break for both those cars.
Yeah, Elliott was about to go 2 laps down, so now he only stays 1 lap down, but Ernie Irvin backing him the lead lap.
Irvin, 15, goes back in the lead lap.
Going into turn 3, Brett Bodine had a nose up under Dollenbach. I don't think Wally saw him. I was looking straight at it as it went into the turn. They touched just ever so slightly and sent Wally spinning around. You can see the damage to the left rear of the Keystone Beer Ford. Quite a bit of it.
It wasn't very far to his pit, so Wally just put it there, and now the leaders will be able to come in. Those who are on the lead lap, and Jerry Punch, Allen's headed your way.
But surely he is coming down pit road at about 30 miles an hour. Terry Labonte now peels to the outside. Kowicki will turn left, so will Rusty Wallace. But Bodine, Earnhardt, and Labonte will go further down pit road for their pit stall. The car's on the lead lap, being able to pit on the first time by. Alan Kowicki did not want to see this caution flag come out just some 13 laps prior to the halfway point. But with the weather coming and the caution flag out, they had no choice but to pit. One tire now rolls across pit road. Here comes a Miller Genuine Draft crew member back to catch the tire. Kowicki's car's down and away. Here is Terry Labonte away. Whoa, and Labonte comes into contact with Jeff Bodine as they are leaving pit road. They rub right front and left rear as they scamper toward turn 1.
But look who won the race out of the pits.
The 3 car,
Dale Earnhardt.
Man, I tell you, you just see it so many times. That crew consistently gets the job done.
Here's Labonte gets the fuel man is saying, the catch man is saying, I'm all set, and boom, he runs in the left rear tire of Bodine's car. And I tell you what, that could have done some damage to the right front of Labonte's car.
I think he hit it hard enough to maybe have done some damage. We'll keep our eye out for that. Under caution for the 4th time this afternoon, we are only 12 laps away from the halfway point.
The Suzuki Katana 600. It cranks even before you turn it on.
Around 1900, GMC Truck built America's first gasoline-powered truck and went on to make trucks our only business.
A heritage of trucks that some say worked a little harder, lasted a little longer. And that's still true today in a truck that gives you the most standard payload and the strongest resale of any full-size pickup. Sierra from GMC Truck. More proof of the strength of experience.
Most of our customers come to AutoZone for low prices and for parts they can replace themselves. But many people come because we speak their language. Things like duration and lift and compression ratio, stuff like that. Because a guy who's going to rebuild an engine, he won't buy parts from just anybody. And since AutoZone stocks complete engines, we know what makes them tick inside and out. Sure, we sell our best parts at our best prices every day. But if we know something that's going to help you do the job right, you get that free.
In my career, I've had a lot of good things happen to me. Of course, there were a few headaches. But that's when I'd reach for a Goody's headache powder. And I'm not alone. In a recent survey, doctors preferred the Goody's formula too, by more than 3 to 1 over the BC's. And only Goody's beats a headache the way I prefer, in record-breaking time.
All right. Makes you feel so good again.
We got it, we got it, we got it, we got it, you got it, you got it, you got it, you got it, we got it, we got it.
If you've got to have it, there's no better time to get it.
We got it, we got it, we got it, you got it, you got it, you got it.
The Suzuki We've Got It flexible financing. Come and get it.
The shot from the pace car as it pulls off. Just as you come back, the race resumes. The green flag is out. Dale Earnhardt is the leader of the race. Alan Kulwicki second, then Brett Bodine, Jeff Bodine, Terry Labonte, and Kyle Petty. And we are 9 laps away from the halfway point.
And Dick Trickle's on the inside trying to get his lap back. He can't jump Earnhardt, and neither can he jump Kulwicki.
And you mentioned earlier that on the restarts, with new tires, his car doesn't seem to be quite as fast. He's on about Trickle right now. But after they run a little while, he has the fastest car on the track.
And here's a guy that's been quick all day, Alan Kulwicki. That Hooters Ford car is running beautifully. Earnhardt runs good for a few laps, seems to fade. Let's see if this time they've adjusted and he keeps that car out front.
They're going for $10,000 in 3 laps. Less than 3 now. $10,000 will be awarded to the driver leading at a halfway point. When they come around the time, they will have completed 194 circuits. Here comes Trickle sneaking up again. Earnhardt maintains the advantage.
And he's going to make him pass him on the outside, Bob. Earnhardt staying right down on the inside of the racetrack. He don't think Alan can pass him that quick on the outside. But Alan thinks he can. Here he comes up on the outside going into turn 3.
Kulwicki really gets a great jump off that second corner. Pulls up on the outside of Earnhardt, but I don't know if it's going to be enough.
Kulwicki trying.
Yeah, and it's tough up there when you have somebody that knows how to use the racetrack as good as Dale Earnhardt does. And his car might not be the fastest out there, but on new tires, he knows how to use that track, and he's going to do everything he can to get that $10,000.
And Kulwicki and Trickle got together coming up that 4th corner, so Kulwicki's got to be careful and realize Trickle's back there.
.197 complete. Little how do you do?
Well, I'm here. You saw Trickle wave to Earnhardt and say, I'm sorry, man, I didn't realize you were going to slow down that much.
Yeah, Trickle is not the type of a driver that gets into a bumpy match. He's an aggressive race driver. He'll certainly get in there and race with you, but he's not going to knock you out of the way to pass you.
Next time around, it'll be 1 more to go for the halfway mark. Here's lap 199 completed. Whoever leads the next lap will get $10,000.
And I bet if Earnhardt leads the next lap, here comes Kulwicki up on the outside, that he won't lead over 1 more lap after that. But here they come.
Yep, he's going to try it on the outside. He's about a half a car length ahead now, but Earnhardt battles back to the inside. Here they come off the 4th corner. At the halfway point, it is Earnhardt by about a quarter of a car length.
You know, Kulwicki did not win the $10,000 last week at Bristol. Darrell Walker was the winner of the Gillette Halfway Challenge. So, as good as his car has been, both times could not take home that money.
Well, I tell you, it's tough up there on the outside, Timmy. He's driving his heart out, Kowiecki is, but just can't get by. Now he inches ahead just a little bit more coming off the corner.
So our leader at the halfway point is Dale Earnhardt. He takes home the $10,000 of that halfway challenge award. Now, if you've been to the contest and your phone rings in the next few minutes, they ask you who is leading the halfway point, tell them Dale Earnhardt. And if you do, you'll win the Gillette Halfway Challenge and the Chevrolet Lumina C34.
Kowiecki still struggling, trying to get it by. Here's our Western Auto recap at the halfway. Dale Earnhardt was the leader. He had led 18 of the 200 laps. I think Kowiecki, the only other leader this afternoon. Then 4 caution flags for 25 laps. There right now are 15 cars on the lead lap. As we see, there's been two leaders this afternoon, Kowiecki and Dale Earnhardt. Average speed so far, 92.81 miles per hour. And Jimmy Means spins down in turn 1, and the caution flag waved.
That's Ted Musgrave.
I'm sorry.
Down in turn 1. And another caution. And the pace car quickly scurries out to pick up. And Trickle.
Well, he doesn't think that these cars took the caution flag. Right. NASCAR is saying they did take the caution flag, so Trickle will have no choice but to fall back.
Elmo Langner, the pace car driver, a brave soul, just jumped right out there in front of him.
He's out rubbing fenders in those race cars, wasn't he, Ned?
Oh, he enjoyed that, too, I guarantee you.
Now, Trickle cannot make a pit stop. These other 2 cars will all come in. Earnhardt, Kowiecki.
And Brett's going to stay out.
Brett stayed out, and also Labonte stayed out.
Yep.
Well, they really haven't run that far, so I guess they're gonna take advantage of the track position. Let's go to the pits and Jerry.
Well, you got to wonder the strategy a little bit here, Ned. Some of the crew members saying they felt a drop of rain just about a minute ago, about 4 or 5 laps ago, but that doesn't change anything. Kowiecki is on pit road. Rusty Wallace is on pit road. 3 on the top. Earnhardt, the Goodrich crew, going to work on that Chevrolet. All the way at the very end of pit road, Earnhardt, by virtue of being the Winston Cup champion, gets the #1 pit spot, while Kowiecki pitting about 15 pits further up pit road. And now left side tires on the Goodrich Chevrolet. Likewise, left side tires on the Hooters Ford. Austin Jackson for Kowiecki. These campers back to turn 1. Earnhardt is already gone.
Well, I tell you, Jeff Bodine made an awfully fast pit stop there too, fellas. I don't know if he changed all 4 or just the right side, but he got out right behind Earnhardt, and Jeff Bodine was running in the 4th position before this caution came out.
So he'll move from 4th to 2nd, and Kowiecki will be 3rd, then Gant, Rusty Wallace.
Well, let's see.
Actually,
Brett
that's not
Bodine's
true.
leading.
Yeah.
Brett
Bodine is leading, and Terry Labonte 2nd.
Exactly.
Well, you saw the great work on pit road just a few minutes ago by the mechanics. Here is the Mechanic of the Year standings from Western Auto. Tim Brewer is on top from Bill Elliott's team. 2nd is Larry McReynolds from Davey Allison. Andy Petrie 3rd in the standings, tied with Steve Neal. And Dewey Livengood is in 5th position in the Western Auto Mechanic of the Year standings. Dewey, of course, with the Terry Labonte team. We are under caution for the 5th time. We'll be back with more live coverage of the First Union 400.
Gillette presents Sensor, the system, the technology that will change the way you shave forever. Sensor, twin blades set on springs to read your face and respond. Independent suspension to sense and adjust to every curve of your face. No other razor comes close. Gillette Sensor, for the best shave a man can get.
Dad! Can I parachute out my bedroom window?
No.
Can I grow a mustache?
No.
Can we go shark fishing?
No.
How about we...
No.
Dad, can I have a pet monkey?
No.
Oh, darn. Beekeeping!
No!
Dad?
What?
Can we go to McDonald's?
Yes. Yes, we can.
Can I drive?
No.
Oh.
There's a storm brewing on ESPN. Saturday Night Thunder. ESPN Speed Week rolls in to start off a night of lightning quick action. Then it's the radical and the ruthless. And the rumble-tumble excitement of live USAC midgets and sprints. Saturday Night Thunder strikes again on ESPN.
At 209 laps, all 32 cars still running. In the first Junior 400 being led by Brett Bodine. Second is Terry Labonte. In third position is Kyle Petty. In fourth is Michael Waltrip. And fifth is Ricky Rudd. As we go inside Bobby Hillen's car with the Phillips 66 and car camera.
Who is running right behind the leader, Brett Bodine. Hillen is really running good in the last 100 or so laps. He got a lap down there a little earlier, but he is really running good.
There's a second place car of Labonte running right behind Bobby Hillen. Terry Punch has reported from pit road that he has felt some raindrops, but we are past the halfway point now, so if it should rain hard the rest of the afternoon and they call it a race, that will be it.
I would imagine that's one reason that Brett Bodine stayed out there. There hadn't been too many laps since the last caution flag, and hey, if it rains in the next few laps and continues to rain the rest of the day, I'll win a baby.
As he did once before here at North Wilkesboro, Brett winning his one and only Winston Cup affair here.
And not only that, his car's running pretty doggone good right now. Labonte can't catch him.
And it has all year. You know, this team has had 2 top 10 finishes, but they have been in just about every one so far. His best finish was at Rockingham, rather make that Darlington, where he finished 6th. He was 8th at Rockingham and 11th last weekend at Bristol.
First time Kawicki is caught back in the pack. There's Earnhardt going by Dale Jarrett. Jeff Bodine follows right on through, and there's Kawicki.
Earnhardt is 6th. Jeff Bodine is 7th, and Alan Kawicki back in 8th spot. Right behind him here again. Let's see. There's Rudd leading that group. Kyle Petty.
Rudd trying to make a move on Michael Waltrip. That's for 4th.
Walter stayed out just a moment ago to make the pit stop, so he's gotten up front, trying to make the most of it in that Midville Pontiac.
We had a poor qualifying run on Friday here, but then came back yesterday and was the second round fastest.
Unfortunately, though, he's caught there on the outside. He lost 2 spots to Rudd and Earnhardt.
But he dove back on the inside. Jeff Bodine couldn't get position on him. And Jeff said, "Rats."
Again, all these cars battling for position on the lead lap, and there goes Earnhardt passing Ricky Rudd. And so Earnhardt will go to 4th.
He comes back, closes that spot, so now all these cars behind will have to pass on the outside if they're going by.
This is the second race in a row that Dale Earnhardt has looked good. He was very competitive at Bristol last weekend. Unfortunately, with less than 50 laps to go, into the outside wall, eliminating any chances of victory, but certainly has to be considered among the contenders here today.
Now, Kyle Petty did not make a pit stop, so Earnhardt's tires are a little bit fresher than Kyle's.
He's not having a very good year compared with last year when he came into this race second in points. Now is 8th. 177 behind the points leader, Davey Allison, looking to take a position away from Kyle Petty.
Took a look on the inside of Kyle, couldn't quite make it. Jeff Bodine has gotten by Michael Waltrip. Now Kawicki gets on the inside, takes the position away. Michael, let's see, can he get back to the inside? He does before Harry Gant can get there.
Or you got to stick it back there in a hurry. You get out of line. If you see a little bit of an opening, you got to try to get her back in there.
Earnhardt has taken 3rd while we give you another field summary. Oh, and Michael is into the wall and a whole big pileup in the 3rd turn, blocking the track.
Man, oh man, what a pileup. Whew. Caution flag is out.
Michael Waltrip ends up with the most damage as his Pennzoil Pontiac is badly damaged in the rear end.
Well, that's too bad. There's Bobby Hillen trying to get a lap back, but couldn't do it. Brett Bodine into the lead.
This is our 6th caution, and we'll look at this again.
Here we see Harry Gant trying to get on the inside of Michael. Michael does not realize he's there. He comes down. Harry touches him in the left rear, and around he goes. Then Rusty Walsh runs in the back of Harry. He spins, and everybody hit everybody.
Yeah, and then they straighten Harry out, and he just comes on around.
Here's another angle.
There we see Rusty getting hit by Darrell Waltrip, and Davey Allison running in the back of Morgan Shepherd. He spins.
And then they all straighten out.
They all straighten out, keep on going.
Everybody got headed in the right direction except Michael. And here he is on pit road.
A lot of damage to that car.
A lot of damage.
Jerry is in the Brett Bodine pit as he comes in.
Well, as expected, they will take advantage of this unfortunate incident with Michael Waltrip. The caution flag out. The Quaker State Ford Thunderbird comes down to be serviced by the crew. Donnie Richardson and the rest of the crew. They are changing all 4 tires. They also put a little oil in the drive plate in the rear of the car. They use a cambered drive plate for these short track events. This is the car they ran at Richmond, and they kept burning up the drive plates. They don't want to have that happen here, particularly when you're running as well as they had today. They have changed right side tires, now changed left side tires, pull the jack out, and he is away.
Well, Brett came in, and so did Labonte, and so did Petty and Rudd, but everybody else that was on the lead lap basically stayed out, including Earnhardt, Jeff Bodine, Alan Kowicki, and Rusty Wallace. Back with more right after this.
The search for that next used car will be over when you come to Pocosin Motors Regional Used Car Center. Our large selection guarantees that we'll have a car to fit every need. Hi, I'm Chuck Allen with just a few of the fine cars we have available, like this 91 Ford Taurus with tilt, cruise, automatic transmission, power steering, power brakes, and AM/FM radio. You can really save on this sporty-looking family car. The first-time buyer is going to love the low price on this sporty 91 Geostorm with automatic transmission, air conditioning, power steering, power brakes, and AM/FM radio. If you want sporty looks in a family car, then this 87 Olds Delta 88 is for you. It comes with automatic transmission, air conditioning, power steering, power brakes, AM/FM radio, and great savings. We have satisfied customers from New York City to Raleigh, North Carolina, and we're adding more every day. So come to Pocosin Motors Regional Used Car Center and see why our customers keep coming back. Pocosin Motors Regional Used Car Center, a proud member of the Pavolco Group.
Women players are off to Florida, but not for vacation, for the Bausch & Lomb Championships, and it's all business. Don't miss the finals, Sunday night at midnight Eastern on ESPN.
Under caution here, the top 5. It's Earnhardt, Jeff Bodine, Alan Kowicki, Rusty Wallace, and Davey Allison with 226 laps completed. Morgan Shepherd comes in, so does Harry Gant, as we ride with Morgan Shepherd on his way to pit road. And there's some damage there on the right side of the car. They're going to the right front to see if they can pull it away from the tire.
And damage on the left front of Harry Gant's car. You can see him pulling that away. Let's go to the pits and John Carter.
This is the second time in the pits for Harry Gant. The first time he missed it 3 laps ago because Michael Waltrip was confused. He thought that he was supposed to pit in his pit stall, but they waved him on back to the garage area. At the same time Harry was coming down pit road, he had to go back out, come back around. What they've done is they've changed right side tires, left side tires. They pulled away that sheet metal again, but there's a plate that's underneath the front air dam, a metal plate that looks like it is dragging the ground. There were some sparks there when it came down pit road just a few minutes ago. They may have to cut that off. Right now they're stirring around, waiting for Harry to come back in. Also, Morgan Shepherd, some right front damage. Harry will bring the car back into the pits. Andy Petrie and the crew looking at that front. And you can see where they're working in around the oil cooler area. Now they got to put jack stands under it. It looks like Harry Gant will not have a chance to win. And now the rain is starting to fall. You can see the spots leaving the marks. Concrete. Harry does go away this time. It wasn't as lengthy stop as I thought. Andy Petrie will talk things over now with the rest of the crew and see if they need to bring in Harry for any additional work. But the rain is starting to fall, guys.
And, John, they don't have a lot of time to work on the cars because most of the cars are still in the race. And till you can see the rain there on Mark Martin's cars. We look out over the roof cam of his. But with most of the cars still in the race, they take up about half of the racetrack. And these cars go out, catch up to the back of the pack, and then come in to get more work done. And they just don't have time to do much work if they're going to stay in the lead lap.
A lot of cars showing damage. And about lap number 7, Richard Petty was involved in a crash up in turn number 4 and damaged his car to the point he's about 113 laps behind. But there have been better days here at North Wilkesboro. Here's our Petty memory.
This Richard Petty memory is brought to you by Prism, the only spray-away car polish. North Wilkesboro and Richard Petty have had a special relationship through the years. The King has won 15 times at the Speedway, including 6 out of 10 from 1971